Good evening, everybody.
What's up?
First there was 6, then there was 4, and now there is 2.
Well, Shane's got that meeting with the FAA to do that unauthorized water landing.
Correct.
You got
a lot of explaining to do, boy.
Yeah. Beer snack. Well, we'll see him when we see him. Yeah, he's got a lot of family stuff.
Molson's tending to the farm, the family, and the business.
Yeah, Molson's got his stuff going.
JoeBrett.
I don't know what he's got going on. Oh, wait, there he is in the green room.
I would say JoeBrett's in the storm shelter. Joe, seriously, we want to make sure you are safe. You and your family are safe.
Yeah, it's past now. Good evening.
Okay.
All right, and listen, this goes for anyone else out there. This is why we have team replay. Don't be no hero staying up in the living room or in the garage. If you got some crazy storms going on, you better be activating your family emergency plan, whatever that is, because we know that differs. So that's all I know.
Yeah.
If Reed Timmer or Jim Cantori are in your area, you're in trouble.
Yeah, don't be doing no interviews with Jim.
And they were. Timmer was here again. But anyway, I've been trying to keep up as I was coming out here. I guess the cameras are all flying, but Huntsville, Decatur, Alabama, Athens area, and Montesano.
You're next, right? That's the next.
No, it's
moving away from him.
I was moving away. Okay, good.
It was on the ground ramp between Athens and Decatur, and I was watching on the Montesano Tower way up on the mountain. And it was looking pretty rough, so I got to check in with our friend up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say check in with our friend from up there in Monsanto, and make sure we still have a place to camp,
right.
and that he's okay. More importantly, Bucky's will rebuild.
Lou and
Bucky's. Save the cinnamon rolls. Save the brisket.
Yeah, save the brisket.
Save the brisket.
They can rebuild the building, but.
I don't know.
Well, it's been an interesting week with everything regarding Xenia and Hamvention, weather across America.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we got Mike and N2 MAK coming on in maybe about 30, 45 minutes, hour maybe. Mike is doing a very cool 6-meter awareness project. We all probably have 6 meters in a radio or many of our radios. You probably have an antenna that you don't even know that you can load up and tune whatever.
So that ATOS will tune up 6 meters.
Sure will. 102-inch CB whip will also do it too, one way or another.
Oh, okay.
I've done it before.
All right, Joe. What do you got?
What you got, Joe?
So
Make
that
it big.
Right corner that's all gray. You can see it says Montesano, and that's the last picture I got of it. So.
Ouch.
And that's when is that when the camera stopped?
Yeah.
Guntersville Lake is just this side, or my side of Monsanto, because I passed that coming in. So it's coming that way.
All these cameras. I don't know. I thought maybe my internet flaked.
Maybe your internet froze? Oh, that's your phone.
Yeah, that's
I just saw it flip. That's how I knew.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay. I'll let you add a solo. So, how was Dayton?
Well, Dayton was all right. So I got there on what?
Yeah, I say what date did you get on? And kind of let us know. And this is no digs. More people this year than compared to what's the whole? Then we'll get into food. We'll get into vendors. We'll get into what did you buy, and anything else.
He bought an ATOS, of course.
Did you really?
Well, he's never getting the one from Jim.
Yeah, not getting that one.
Sitting in the back of my car.
Kick it off, JoeBrett. Kick it off.
They're saying my audio is low.
It's
just a tad. Just a tad.
Let me check into that.
Come on, kick in those sultry sounds of 5 land. Come on, 5 land.
All right, we'll crank it on up. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Holy Christ. Oh, man. Making love to my ears here.
Easy now. All right.
Easy is no easy.
This is K5YVY, your Hamvention report. So I got in on the Hamvention Wednesday, left early from Mississippi. And that was a much longer trip, doing it by myself this year. But started questioning life by the time you get to Cincinnati traffic.
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't, man, like there was this one bridge that had this big shadow across the road, and traffic stopped me right in front of it. And then it started to flow again, and it stopped me directly on the other side of it. Didn't get to enjoy it. But as expected, it was pretty hot and muggy, like usual. So Thursday was kind of kickback. We went to 4 days in May, Fender night. I went to that with the boys. That was interesting to see. They need a lot bigger room for that crowd. But
that's what I figured. I had a feeling
myself
that would be standing room only. SRO, you know?
Yeah.
Myself among many others that was trying to get some video of that event. All you could do is just hold your hand up high and try to get
you were literally elbow to elbow.
Yeah, you couldn't even see the tables, and unless you push people out of your way, you couldn't see the
Break
tables,
out that selfie stick for that 360 cam. That'll get up there.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But Friday, the show started on Friday. Yeah, so
Doors open. Doors open, right?
Got there Friday. Let me tell you, man, I made the most of my day Friday. It wasn't very hard to find me, and some people still missed me. But I sat with the Coffee and Ham Radio boys at their table. The entire day, except for one trip to the bathroom a little after lunch, and then I came back.
Really?
Yeah, did not move. Well, I had a few items on the table myself for sale, and I didn't want to, just leave it all up to them, right? That'd be kind of rude. So I needed to be there to ask questions or answer. You
don't want Jim pocketing your money. I mean, the man already pocketed your ATAS. You don't want him pocketing your money off anything.
Yeah, I had to keep an eye on Jim, but Chuck's a pretty good seller. He sold a couple of my items for double what I was asking for him. Yeah,
is he really nice? Look at him upselling it. Nice.
Yeah,
Richard, thanks for the 19 months, and
thank you, Richard.
See you in Huntsville.
Thank you, Richard.
He hands me a 20 and says I sold 2 meters. I was like, I was only asking 5. He said, well, I sold them for 10 apiece. I said, all right.
There you go.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God, I love it.
And Frank is loving the 360 video.
Well, thank you. I'm kind of gauging interest in that, and I decided to. I did my little walkthroughs, and I did it building by building, which I missed. There's a couple buildings, like you got buildings 1, 2, and 3, but then you got like Maxim Hall and some of the others, the smaller buildings. I didn't get in some of those to record, and I think all but one of them, or all but 2 of them, I didn't have the selfie stick attached to my backpack raised up quite high enough, so.
Okay.
You have to look left, right, or behind me, or you're just going to be staring at my hat. But I always thought they were kind of neat, and I thought I'd try them out. Walk through it and look where you want. Pause if you want to look longer.
Yep. Yeah, I need to make sure I set up the 360 cam for this weekend.
You got one too?
Yeah, I do.
Dang, what you got?
I've got the X3.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. Friday night, we get back to the house that we're renting, and it starts storming. It's like it's following me. Of course, it always rains, right, at Hamvention, I hear. This started throwing some hail and some winds out. And, yeah, some of the car boys was hitting the basement, and me and Jim was out on the back porch watching it. And while Jim was,
were they really? First
drinking
time
a Diet Dr. Pepper, smoking a cigar.
Yep. Or Newport or something, whatever it is. But I was trying to record some video of the storm, and heck, if I showed it, I'd have to bleep most of it out because he was sitting there cussing about his truck getting hit with hail.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, you left the big dent the grandma put in the back passenger door, but you gonna fuss about some hail? Come on now.
Well,
did you ever fix the window that Mike broke?
I don't know. It's there, but I don't know if you can roll it down. Right?
That sounds like a no.
Well, he had that through glass antenna on it, so probably shouldn't have rolled it down anyway.
You probably shouldn't have put it on a window that can move.
Well,
Right.
But,
Hello.
yeah. Or let Mike sit in the backseat of your truck. I mean,
yeah, I ain't gonna say it's Mike's fault.
no. There he is.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, Mike
break-
said he didn't break it.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
No,
my client has said
I was
he
there.
didn't break it, and that's Your Honor.
I was there.
For
He
the
didn't break
record,
it.
let
He was just
the
sitting there.
record show. Let the record show. My client has said he didn't break it, and that's our story, and that's what we're sticking to.
So after the storm pushed through, we get up the next day, and man, it's actually kind of chilly outside. Like you see, one of my videos, somebody commented, "Was it chilly?" It was Bob. He noticed that some people had jackets on, some people were in short sleeves, and it was almost to the point where I was considering should I brought a sleeve or not. But man, I was soaking it up. So Saturday was a great day to walk around.
Good.
Did not need the hydration pack as much as I thought I did, but I still used it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of stuff out there. Saturday night, everybody goes to the Troll Pub.
Okay.
I did not make it.
Oh.
I was heartbroken on that. I was hell bent on being there, but we didn't leave the show till 5 o'clock. Get back to the house, which was 20 minutes away, and then get to the house and unpack some stuff and type in Troll Pub, and it was an hour from where we was at one way. And I was already starving, so we just ordered some takeout and went and picked up some food. Chilled.
Because I was hoping whatever Kyle organized was going to be to everyone's liking, fairness, you know. So
Yes.
we'll have.
It seemed like the tables were handled much better this year, but the bar area still needed some help.
We'll have to get that from Kyle then.
Yeah, Noel wasn't there to secretly go behind the bar and help serve drinks this time.
And start serving.
One for me and two for you.
Hey, they just don't know how much money they missed out on that year.
Joe, what did you think of the new products? Very welcoming. Was it like a big draw? Do you think people were expectations met? You know, what was there a feel that you can see and hear?
I want to say some expectations were exceeded.
Ooh.
Okay. Really? The bar
Well,
got raised.
In
Sorry, beat the bar.
particular, Flex come in swinging, throwing
Flex?
punches at the show, boy.
Yeah.
Really?
Flex got me considering a flex. I just got to figure out how to get $7,000.
Oh, it's only $7K. You got
You're gonna have to sell a vehicle and maybe a kid.
They done come out with
Just a
the
kidney.
Aurora.
A kidney. Aurora.
The Aurora features a 110 plug-in. You plug it into your wall outlet.
Right.
And
power output.
500 watts output at your disposal.
And
All
what-
in
and-
500 right off the rip.
Is it
Okay.
like 10 watt? Is it like 10, 20 watts in, something low like that? And
It's built into the radio.
It is the radio. It's a 500 watt radio.
oh, I
This-
got some education to do on this then.
Yeah.
It's
I-
literally flick the switch and you have 500 watts.
If you want it, yeah. Or you can dial it back. But it's I think they said 50 on 2 meters and I don't know, maybe 6 meters, but I know 2 meters was the lower output.
It's got 2 meter in it.
I believe that's what I remember hearing.
I got to look that up. I saw little bits and pieces on it, but I was stuck on an airplane for 16 hours on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
So
Anyway, yeah, but yeah, 500 out the box, plug it into your wall. No power supply needed. Everything's built in. And I was listening to the Ham Radio Workbench, I believe, I think they released a podcast on, several of the Flex YouTubers were invited to this early informational thing before the show and sworn to secrecy.
okay.
But they ended up releasing that audio of that recording where they told all about it. And what they've done with the heat dissipation or the heat, what do you call it, generation, they've cut that down like 3/4 of what a traditional radio does.
Really?
Mm.
All right, Colt 45 says 200 watts, 6 meters, and then There's Frank again.
I'll
Says
take
no
200
2 meters,
watts.
so.
Listen, I'm not a big 6 meter guy, but holy crap, 200 watts on 6 meters.
Yeah.
That's some power, man. I don't care. Plus, you add a beam to that.
500 watts on HF, 200 on 6. Yep.
I knew there was
AC/DC power supply.
What kind of display, Joe? Nice display. Nice,
Your computer.
Well,
okay, so completely.
Well, it's just like the others. You got 2 offerings with just the box and hook it to a computer. You got 2 offerings that has the Maestro or screen or something like that.
Okay, interesting.
So there's 4 different configurations that you can choose from. Look at that.
There you go. And
I'm just looking at that rear panel there.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
2 antenna ports.
Nicely laid out. I like that.
God knows what all connections are. And looks like it has built-in Wi-Fi.
I saw that. I spy that.
Mm-hmm.
The connectors. SO239s.
A couple of SO239s for antenna 1 and antenna 2. And then it's probably transverter down there in the bottom. Because they like their transverters.
So what are you saying, Joe, as far as heat dissipating the heat?
It's not really, dissipation is not the right word because they've cut it down to where it doesn't even generate. Look, there's a whole technical. You gotta listen to the podcast episode.
And I'm not a technical guy. I was just curious. Whisper cooling fans or no fans at all?
Probably whisper fans.
I'm just throwing some numbers out here because I don't remember exactly, but something like if you got a 1500 watt amp, you're creating 18 something hundred watts of heat, and they've cut that down to like you're generating a quarter of that. They've changed the ratio of that. They've revolutionized this.
Because listen,
built-in antenna tuner.
From a kid in the early to mid 70s, my grandfather had a ranch house. The basement only had partial heat. The ham shack never had the heat because back then he was all QRO. That amplifier, his room was, I think, a 12 by 12 shack. 10 by 12. Had a door on it and had a big, huge glass window. And then he had these accordion shutters to shut when he wanted total privacy, darkness, whatever, and just let the lights of the Collins and other equipment. But that amplifier kept us warm. I remember.
Oh yeah.
And he had 2 amplifiers. One was a Heath kit, I think. Another one was a homemade job he had. Either one, there was no such thing as heat in there. Matter of fact, in the summertime, you sweated. There was always a fan that had to be run. But still, look where we've come now in 2025 compared to 1975. Yeah. Excuse me.
The Aurora 520 has integrated SO2R.
Remember hearing that?
Yep.
So yeah, that's
500 watt tuner. So
we'll have to have a pretty thick credit card for that one, but it sounds fun.
My check will bounce all the way to the bank. It's fine.
Meanwhile, you'll be down the road. They'll find you.
They'll know where to find me.
They'll know where to find you.
The new
Tuesday
Kenwood
night,
Mobile.
you're on Clubhouse.
New Kenwood Mobile was out on display, and it was a lot prettier in person.
Okay.
When I first seen it, and you can't deny it when I say this, but that is a marine radio case painted black. It looked just when they first released a picture of it, I was like, it's like a marine radio, right? But seeing it in person, couldn't touch it. It was in a little glass case, but
under the glass. Yep.
I stared at it for a minute. It had some pretty vivid colors on the screen. So, and then Yaesu's FT-X1, FT1, whatever.
The FT1X.
That become pretty popular. Jason got his hands on one, and then
some controversy. Some controversy was, throughout the social mediums about, who had them, who didn't, and I don't know. I'm sure if they were correct, if they were misleading, but some people were not happy.
Well,
So
yeah, that's the whole thing.
yeah,
Then,
I don't have a dog. I don't have a dog in the fight, and I don't care. No disrespect to you. I don't have a dog in the fight. So
no, ham radio tube. We got him one. So I should have went over there and messed with, but I'm glad I didn't because I probably would want one too. So
Yeah.
well, I gotta tell you, Joe. I quickly added up some prices. I said if I was, and the key words, if I was to get that Yaesu, let's say 2-3 months from now, what's it going to cost me? Because I have learned I'm not just buying a radio anymore. There's accessories that I need, and accessories I'm going to want. And at this point, I'd have to really sell down because it would almost be a sin for me to get another radio of that caliber.
There's no accessories
and I'm not
that
saying
you want. You need the accessories.
Right. And let me tell you something. You're going to have fun with that. I know Mike and everyone else who has that radio. I'll bet every dollar I have, you are going to have fun with that radio. That looks like a fun, as well as the awesome configurations that it gives you. Just like, Joe, like what you were saying about the other radio, you can do 2 or 3 different, watching the videos that the guys put out. Very interesting. Very interesting configurations based upon everyone's different operating style, whether you're home, in the field. If you're in the, sounds like even in the field, you got 2 or you got like 2 options of how you want.
They didn't plan on you taking this out. I don't. They don't want you taking it mobile. And they said that you can't use an extension cable, but yet somebody's already posted on the interwebs them using an extension cable. Kind of like we can't use just Ethernet cable to extend our remote head mounts, right? But I usually have an unpopular opinion. It's okay because I like it, and I don't care if you don't. But my opinion on the whole HRO selling them at the show thing is both sided. Because if I'd have pre-ordered one and was still sitting here at the house after coming home and waiting on one, I'd probably be a little salty. So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't think that that they should not have sold them at the store, but I mean at the show. But I do think they should have put some kind of disclaimer saying, hey, if you want to take a gamble, we might have a few at the show before you pre-order and wait for shipping. Mm-hmm. And then, that's a gamble because I think they only brought like 100 units or something. I may be way off on that. I'm just guessing because I think I heard that. But then you might have been number 101 and not had a pre-order or one in your hand at all. So right. That's the only thing that I think they probably should have done for the people is be transparent about that. And it may have been a last minute thing. I don't know, but
as far as the radio itself, let's forget about the saltiness but the radio itself, I think is very interesting. I think it's a very interesting radio. I think for anybody who does a lot of 2-meter work, I think it's a nice option.
Be interested to hear how it works on satellites.
Right. Correct.
So John did say in one of the interviews I watched at the show that it's not full duplex, although some people said it was. But he said it's not.
It's
Again,
not, right.
Hell, it may be, but it's coming from John. You also can't use extension cables and Cat 5 cable on their other radios. But
yeah, I saw his interview with DX Engineering. So
yeah, so I got to thinking though. I'm going to put this out here. Ray is my more favorite salesman.
Yep,
he's got a better personality when it comes to interacting about the product. To me, not throwing shade, just that's the way I call it. But on the way home, I'm sitting there looking at my truck. And every damn radio in my truck is Yaesu, and I'm getting more and more Yaesus without even thinking about it. So I got the 500, I got the 891, I got the FT-5, and I'm like, wait a minute now, Icon, what you doing here? My 7300 is what, 10 years old?
Yeah. Your 705?
Yeah, 705 ain't much older or much younger. So I've never been a big fan of Yaesu, but I'm telling you that DSP, they've got that on lock, dude. They are the king of digital signal processing.
They do.
when I'm in the mobile, the 891, and with the noise from the, I guess, the alternator or whatever electrical things making it pop a little bit, and the noise from junk that you're passing by, and I hit the DSP, and all of a sudden I can actually hear an operator that's there. Oh,
See,
wow.
I keep forgetting. See, I keep forgetting to go into that setting. And Mike K8 MRD pointed it out on many videos ago, maybe about 2 months ago or so. The noise reduction, noise blanker, and I got to get back into the menus and start playing with that because every once in a while I get to a park.
And I have to say about since we're on the subject of filtering, the 7300, Ray was talking about this somewhere at some point, about how most people are running their RF gain at 100%. And he's always backed it down a lot.
Right.
And then adjusted filters and stuff to where the station sounded good. The station ain't got to be hitting S9 on the meter. You just got to hear it.
Joe, that's an interesting point because a lot of guys I've seen, they run preamp 2 and 3.
Well, on the ICOM, now this has been YouTube studied as well. Anything over 20 and up, you about have to at least use preamp 1 to get a good signal out of.
Okay.
40 meters and 160, you need the attenuator.
But again, I'm not an expert in this, and I am not. This is the Izzo disclaimer. I am not an expert, only from my operating experience, where I'm operating noise, environmental noise, whatever. I've noticed preamp 2 and 3. Yes, it's going to bolster the signal. You can see it in the waterfall, but here comes a whole bunch of noise with it. Even if you're trying to notch it down, it's like, why are you going to bring noise in and then try to mask it down, notch it down? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I rather run no preamp, still hear you, and at the end of the day, I don't care if you're a 5.5 or a 5.8, 5.9. The point is, can I hear you? And I think it might lead to, are we getting, remember how a lot of guys get very hung up on flat VSWR and everything? Maybe it's the same thing when it comes to this subject of, you have to be a 5.8, 5.5. No, you do not. You do not. Who cares? As long as I can hear you and communicate with you. You know? I don't know. Hey, tweets is all.
Well, I want to know. I just got a message here in the chat to pull up HRO's website, and I want to know what's going on. They might need a new IT guy.
Uh-oh. Might have some problems.
I would not spend any money.
Steve, what does that mean? What's an SSL certificate mean?
That is your secure socket layer. You want to make sure that they have a valid SSL cert before you put your credit card number in.
Oh, okay. I get that
because
much. In layman's terms, yes.
Yep. And make sure your data is safe.
That's why you call and give it to some stranger over the phone.
Hello, my name is Bob.
Oh, man. So while we're on the subject of radio, I just got a text message wanting me to share.
Well, why don't he just come on the show and say something then? Mike, if you want the link, we'll send you a link. Hop on.
How'd you know it was a mic?
Because I could see something in the chat.
Ooh.
So MRD has put the 705 now, albeit it's in a cage, so that makes it a little more girthy. But there's this.
But if you look beyond the cage, they're about the same size. Okay.
Be that way.
It looks to be a little bit thicker to me there.
Taller.
Okay.
I'm going to have to put a tape measure there. You're going to take it out of the cage, Mike.
Put a bow thing against it. Let's use the real unit measurement. But look at that screen. That screen compared to the 705. That screen's definitely bigger. Not by much. Not by much.
I think the bevel's throwing you off.
Is it? Is it just shifted over a little bit?
Yeah, we're going to do better than that, Mike. Can't come to no conclusions with that, man.
Oh.
Jason felt it was a little heavier, slightly heavier than what he anticipated. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but just
it does look like a nice unit, though.
Listen, when you're putting on a 6,400 milliamp hour battery, what do you think you're going to get? You're not going to. Of course, you're going to get some weight on top of. So hey, man,
Mike said, "Hold, please."
Uh-oh.
I sent him the link. No, because get somebody on here. I want to hear. It would be nice to hear. And Mike, Mike's going to give you raw, honest opinion.
Yep.
So.
Well, and to finish up my weekend, I guess Saturday morning I had a little presentation on free data. Mm-hmm. That was damn near a train wreck, but it wasn't a total crash. So I had this little PowerPoint set up, and I had to change it last minute before I left for the show because I get a message from the organizer saying, "Hey, one tip: just make sure all your text is big enough for people in the back to see." So no problem. I went from font size 22 to font size 48, which meant I had to add a bunch of slides to fit all that text in. And and when I started presenting that at the show, it was what I had ran through my head already was throwing me off, dude. And I had to start out with, "Hey, I'm from Mississippi. They pulled me out the woods, and I don't say words right.
I'm a good old country boy.
I'm not a developer. I'm just a user. Okay, I'm here to introduce you to another mode that you can try." I had to say that because I went directly after the developer of FreeDV, and developers get technical. So and even after that disclaimer, these bucks in the audience, guess what they do?
Asking all the technical questions.
Can I ask you what's the throughput on the signals there? And I'm like, "You're talking about speed, I guess." I said, "Well, I'll tell you this: if you're used to JT65, you're not going to need to go fix you a glass of tea, use the bathroom, and then come back and sit down and still wait for the message to finish. But if they're writing you a book, it's going to take a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was like 2 or 3 technical questions back to back, and I tried my best. Those guys.
Mike, give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Thought I heard a doorbell.
Well, that's a whole nother mic.
That's a whole nother mic.
What's up, other Mike?
What's up, everybody?
What's all Mike. Those? I mean, you're going to get some, your innards going to get cooked in front of all the microwaves.
Some stuff going on in back there, yeah.
Is that the flea market section?
No. This is usually in the summer, the Rochester VHF group, one of the clubs out where I am that does a lot of the stuff on the high bands, does like a picnic and a tune-up night, because a lot of the gear that you use, like the VNAs, the any of the power meters, all that stuff, when you get up to really high bands is different. Like a nano VNA can go so far, but and it's great. But I snapped that pic, and the guys get out, have a picnic, but also bring all kinds of equipment. Ape was drooling over the VNA that I took a photo of and shared with him, because it was like a really pricey piece of gear. But yeah, it's cool. And then you'll see dishes like for 10 gigs, 24 gigs, the guys will set up.
Oof.
And they do it at a park that's got good elevation, shoot right across Lake Ontario into Canada, and play radio with the guys over there.
Did you see the 5 gigahertz dishes and stuff that was in they were in the grass part of the boneyard?
Yeah, I saw quite a bit of. I was surprised to see some of the stuff for VHF microwave, and
I was trying to get Gene to pick it up, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, 1.2 gigs is my limit right now. I haven't gone above that. I'm sure it'll happen, but the hard thing, I mean, the guys that get into some of that the high band stuff, some of those are like the real hams, because you can't just go into like HRO and easily buy some of that gear. So it's those guys know what they're doing.
Oh yeah. A lot of those guys are building their own.
Yeah. There's a lot of engineers out here, though. We have Harris and other companies, and so way smarter than me.
Japan won't allow EHF.
No.
Talking about that, before we get off subject of Japan, did you at least buy a shoulder mic or something?
I did not make it to the ham radio outlet up there.
How about a
kimono?
A kimono. Did you buy a kimono?
God, no. I bought food.
Did you buy candy? Because some of that candy is really cool.
I did. I brought back some of the candy with me.
Cool.
So
candy. Could have had some Icon, Yaesu stuff.
Yeah, I didn't make it up to Tokyo to tool around, and I had to walk everywhere. I didn't have a car. So this fat boy don't walk that much.
They have mass transportation, though, don't they?
It was 2 kilometers from my hotel room.
What's a kilometer?
What the hell?
About a mile and a half.
You over there for a week and already come back talking kilometers and stuff.
Really?
That's how everything was freaking measured.
Well,
I'm not
how
doing
we
math
understand
right
it.
now. I'm not doing math.
We don't math on stream. You know better.
Correct. Right.
But no, but I did find a new drink that unfortunately I can only get over there. Actually, I brought back some steak flavored chips.
That could be risky.
It will be risky, but
medium cooked steak or
medium rare.
Well,
sweet steak, salty steak.
While you guys talk to K-Murder over there on the F1X, I need to get a refill on my water. I'll go grab the bag.
Yeah.
So, be right back.
I-10. Ham Radio Tube, if you'd like to say anything, you're muted.
I know, I'm trying to get my
That's fine.
windows organized here. But
Windows inside of your screen, not Windows operating.
You sound loud and clear from here. You're 5'9".
Thank you. So look at that. Huh?
Ain't that something?
Yeah. The first thing you notice, it just sits at a good viewing angle.
Right?
Just by itself.
That did catch my eye.
I like the blue. Now, is that a lighted blue area? Power on, power off around the
You're talking over here?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting question. You can actually change that from blue to green to white.
Ooh.
So you can customize it.
That's
I have been learning.
$1,800.
Yeah. Right. Well, $1,601.20 is what I paid for that.
It's a hell of a write-off.
Let me get rid of this guy there. So I had to figure, like, I'm coming so much from the ICOM universe, and I'm not familiar with any of the new Yaesu HF radios. So I'm still learning it here. But we can go 2 VFOs on top of one another, single VFO. So I had to figure out just how to even see the screen. I'm still learning. But I filmed an unboxing video today. Mm-hmm. But the thing, I had this on pre-order, but I canceled it because I'm like, do I really need to spend this much money? And then I heard it. And this
once again,
thing,
the DSP had you. It brought you back.
Nah. It's not even the DSP. It's the speakers.
What?
It's
really?
The
Underneath there, right?
These right here. This is like a filter that pushes the sound toward you. You can see underneath on the bottom of the body. Those are the speakers.
Okay.
Here.
Sort of like what Bose did a long time ago.
Hasta la vista.
Oh, wow.
It's so loud and clear.
How are we doing tonight up there in Ohio? Okay, ¿quién está en Ohio?
That's a strong station.
It's stupid loud. And it's stupid, even cranked. Look, that's cranked. Let me turn on that. It's so loud. It's so loud. I don't think in the field I would ever have this more than about half.
I was going to ask you that. You know, if you had to anticipate.
Yeah, like being on YouTube doesn't do this any justice. When you see this in person and hear this in person, it is insanely loud. It is my as a portable operator, every single radio that I own is too quiet. Every single one of them. The G90, the X5105, the RS918, the 705, the 7300, the 7610. What name the radio? They're all too quiet. When you're out portable, nature makes noise. Okay, nature is loud, especially if it's a windy day. The trees are rustling, the birds are chirping, the squirrels are barking, the snakes are hissing. So when I'm portable with my 705, 99% of the time that volume is cranked, and just so I can hear it. This, you get a good volume at about half. But if you want to crank it.
Okay, Carmen. Yeah, we've talked about.
How clear is that?
I know you're out there.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Well, and will it run the ATOS?
Not on the battery.
I don't think it'll do it without the Optima. I haven't tried it. That's on my list.
Okay.
According to John, with the battery, it won't. But if you plug it into 13 volts, if you plug in the external source,
Okay, external.
Okay. Why does
because the
it look out
battery
of focus?
doesn't provide the power output for it.
Okay.
Mike, I got to tell you, the viewing screen is very nice cosmetically. I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a better
Kudos.
touch screen than like if you have an FTM5 that has the FT5D, literally the worst touch screen in the world. This one seems to be a little more sensitive, a little more responsive. I don't think it's quite as good. I mean, it's not as good as like a phone's touch screen, but it does the job. So it's fantastic. And then again, to compare it to the 705, they're very similar in size. And keep in mind, I have a POV cage on here on my 705.
Right.
There's the screen size lined up. So they're pretty much the same size screen.
Okay.
When Jason took his FTX1F out, he got his on Thursday. The first thing I did was steal it from him, and I put it out. I put the screen out in direct sunlight because it was really sunny on Thursday.
Right.
I think now the screen might have been about 50% brightness. It was totally washed out. So this might suck in the sun. I'm not sure. And so today I filmed I filmed an unboxing video of this today because I literally did not touch this since I bought it on Friday. I just opened it up today for the first time and filmed an unboxing video. I can't figure out how to get it to work with WSJTX. And I was also trying to figure out the SD card. I have a bunch of SD cards just sitting there. In the manual, it just says use an SD card. They never say anything about like a maximum size. So I've got 64 gigs. I've got 128 gigs. Like those are kind of small these days. It would not format it. I formatted it on my computer to whatever MS FAT, whatever.
Yep.
So then I took the 32 gig out of my ICOM 7610, put it in there, hit format, and it worked. So apparently 32 gigs is the max size SD card for this to work because like nothing would work. So,
Mike, do you like the bigger VFO dial, the physical size of the VFO dial?
I don't really care. I don't think it really matters. On the 705, I actually don't use the VFO very often. I use the multi knob as my
multi-knob,
VFO.
yep.
Because I just have it set for like one kilohertz.
Steps.
Yeah, if it'll ever boot up like that. So I just rock through the VFO like that. Usually, I don't really do that. It's just easier for me, but we'll see. We'll see how. It's about the same size VFO as the 891 or the 710. It's a beautiful radio. Beautiful radio. So I'm very excited. Again, I'm very ignorant of the new Yaesu menus, but just to show you guys, if we long press it, it's the same architecture, I believe, as the FTDX10 and the 710.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the 710.
So they're really getting, and I just need to learn this menu system because I'm so ingrained with ICOM's menus.
More you do, right? Just like anything else, the more you do.
Yeah. But
I like the fact that they're keeping their menu system between
Yeah.
radios now.
Yeah. So there's a couple other quirks, like, for example, you can't just long press the back button to go all the way back. Another thing, if we touch the that there, we get our shift and our width and our notch filter and contour. Well, if you turn this on, it's on. Let me get rid of that. And I'm like, how do you turn it off? Because pushing this button doesn't turn them off. You have to long press the back button, and that turns it off. Weird, but Yaesu be Yaesuing. So, it's like I'm sure like Yaesu, sure people who are familiar with the Yaesu menus would be like, duh. So again, it's just you have to develop that muscle memory.
Yes.
But I'm really looking forward to taking this out in the field. Another thing, I don't want to take up Mike's time, so I'll say one last thing here and I'll get out of here. The battery is actually I'm going to say two things. Now I'll say one more thing. The battery pack is USB-C chargeable, if I can take the damn thing off.
Okay.
It is USB-C PD. I'm putting 15 volts into it, but it is not fast charging. It's only putting the max wattage I've put into this was like 12 watts, and it's a 6,400 milliamp hour battery. So it takes about 7 hours to charge it. Yeah, it's a big battery. But they say up to 9 hours of sideband usage out of it, and 6 hours on like 2 meters, 70 centimeter FM. So I'm excited.
And that radio will do what now? That's 10 watts output on sideband with the battery?
With the battery, it's 6 watts. With like an external power supply or a battery, it's 10 watts. Okay. And I just made my first contact with it today to who the hell did I work? N4TRD, Turd. He was doing a POTA, so I worked him, and that was pretty exciting. I have not done anything to any settings. I just turned it on and plugged in the mic and worked him. So that was awesome.
Nice.
I guess speaking on behalf, we can't wait to see you and the many others in the field with it. Just get it out there. Bring it to your favorite park. Get it out there and start playing with it. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's
and MRD, for what it's worth, the chat was pretty unanimous about 32 gig was the largest SD.
But neither the manual that comes with it or the advanced manual says anything about the capacity of the SD card. The manuals are terrible. They're horrible.
You sure you didn't just miss it?
I mean, you want me to show you? Because I can.
Well, yeah, we've had a lot of time to.
Don't get them going.
Use any commercially available micro SD card. Something to that effect.
This is not Mailbag Monday.
There are 0 references to the size. The manual, the advanced manual, and the regular manual for this suck my balls. They tell you very briefly what things are. They do not tell you what to do with them. So that's my spiel. Mike, thank you for letting me take some time. No, that's all radio manual. That's ICOM. Yeah. That's everything. ICOM.
Before you go, Mike,
balls too.
It would be really cool to get your take on the screens side by side out in the sun. I did that with a 710 and a 7300, and they were pretty close. But I think it's that muscle memory, because I was so much more familiar with the ICOM screen and where things are, because I primarily use it. It's just like the menu. Anytime I grab a 710 from like my club, I got to think a little bit more, but it's not anywhere near the rabbit hole that like the 991A or the 891 are. Like the new menus are pretty solid. But
these are pretty intuitive. Like you can just look at it, and like there isn't like a deep F menu like there is on the 891.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess it's all deep F because you got to long press the thing there to get into the menus. But then there's arrows to go forward, and then one page 2 of 3 is CW, but that also is where the memory for the voice recording is. So I'm super excited that it has the DNF, the digital notch filter, which is actually an auto notch, which is something that I don't think. I don't know if the 710 and the DX10 have that, but that's something I use on my ICOM radios all the time. I don't know how well it works. I tried it once when someone was keying up on a station I was listening to earlier, and it got it. ICOM's auto notch function is amazing. So
I agree.
This in the one single time that I've been able to catch a guy keying up on a station, it did notch it out. So we'll see. So very, very excited to get to use this radio.
Mike,
it is heavier than the 710. I'm sorry.
Page 64 of the ops manual says 2 through 32 gig.
Oh,
Well, when you go
Frank.
through the SD card settings, it doesn't say anything. Like the memory settings, it doesn't say anything. What did you say? 62?
64.
Page 64. Frank says 64. Page 64.
I'm blaming Frank.
I mean, leave it to Yaesu to not put everything together in a logical order.
Right.
That's their
Page
menu system.
64. Using the micro SD card, 32. Okay, so suck it. So I just bought a 16 gig. I bought a 16 gig, and then I tried the 32 gig for my 7610. So, yeah.
Okay.
Because I went to somewhere else. I don't know. So
But
I guess
bottom line-
I take back the SD card stuff. It should be a little more clear.
Listen,
What did
for
you
the
say,
for
64?
the last 15 minutes
But
here and what we
who
saw over
reads
the
the
last
manual?
few days, no one's going to go wrong with this radio. This is going to be a fun. This is still going to be a fun radio to play with. Just like any radio. I swear to you, I have seen guys, including myself, we're all using different radios. Yeah, we're crossing manufacturers a little bit here and there, but we're still having fun, and that's the key, I think, right there.
That's
You're
it.
still gonna have fun.
Yes.
If you're not having fun, what are you doing?
You're not playing radio.
I believe the ICOM radios will take a larger SD card than what they spec.
I'm
sorry, Yaesu.
32, Mike.
I haven't tried larger than 32.
It won't take
I
it.
don't remember.
It
You
won't
don't
take
you
it.
don't need it though. Like,
You don't need it. The 705 and the 7300, 32 gig is the max.
I just want to save my VHF memories, and I want to save a voice record function.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
I'm curious to see how the playback of this is going to be,
Keep it simple. Yeah.
because it's probably going to be weird. But that's all I got. All right, I'm out of
I didn't
here.
like the playback of the Yaesu 710 for the voice record. Well, no, that's for recording the QSOs. I'm sorry. Like if you record your QSOs to the SD card, ICOM sorts it out real nice and tags things, but the Yaesu doesn't.
Yeah.
MRG, you are more than welcome to hang out here. You don't have to go if you don't want to. You know that. Unless you got things to do. We get
Yeah,
it.
he wants to go
I
drink
do
and
got
watch in the
things to do.
background.
I got to watch the freaking show.
Okay. All right. Well.
Okay, bye.
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 All right. So you wanted to see the chips. Let's
Let's
go. Kind of a medium.
They're
What's
like
that?
sticks. They're like
Is that a B word? I thought it was.
Sure.
Back it off, Steve. Back it off a little bit.
I'm getting a glare
yeah.
from the.
You're getting the glare, yeah.
Hang on.
Because we need some
Oh,
interpretation
it's
here.
Right, man.
We need some interpretation.
There you go.
Number one, I can read that.
Yeah.
So, what does it taste like?
I haven't tasted it yet. My taste buds are a little off right now because
Uh-oh.
I was in a fart tube for 16 hours, and I think I got something. So
Oh, jeez.
that's why I'm sucking down water like it's going out of style. But I will probably taste those on stream next week
Okay.
because I figure I'll be over this crap pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Interesting.
I will tell you the food in Japan was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sushi go-rounds, as they call them, where it delivers it to your table from the sushi chef in the back, is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
All right. So, I'm not a big sushi eater. I've only had it maybe 3-4 times.
Yep.
But I see it in the grocery store. So, this is not like grocery stores.
No,
This
the
is-
sushi here in the States is 100% different. Hang on. Let me share
Not
my
to be
screen.
ignorant here, but not to be a redneck on
Nope.
sushi, but
Yeah, the wife and I like going out for sushi, and this completely blew me away. But hang on.
wait, that's how it comes to your table?
This is how it comes to the table.
No.
Yep. If it'll load.
Oh, cool.
This is mine. And you hear the little chime from the tablet that I ordered on.
Yeah, I don't know
God.
about that.
Oh,
How far does that thing travel? Because I mean, it's going past everybody else's breath and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you can't taste
That's-
it when you get back.
That's why he came back with something.
there you go. And this was Wednesday night's dinner. You actually finish cooking it there at the table.
Man, that's some bull crap. I seen some videos where you cook your own food at the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like $500. Shoot. If I'm cooking my food,
it was like $7.
Hibachi?
Yeah, basically. Well, it was on a skillet.
like 10,000 yen or something. I don't.
My coworker and I went out that night. That one was a little more expensive, but I picked up his meal because he had picked up before. But the sushi night, we ate more than my wife and I normally do, and it was $14 American for the two of us total.
Wow.
Okay.
But check out their parking structures.
Is this vertical parking?
Yes, it actually stacks the cars.
Stack them
I don't
and rack
like
them.
that either.
Stack them
I'm
and
used to
rack
seeing
them.
that in New York, but not. I haven't seen it elsewhere.
That was kind of crazy to see.
Yeah.
So,
Look
and
at
then
that.
the ramen. The
I don't
ramen's
see
where
a
it's
bit
at.
of ramen in there.
I don't see no ramen, man.
I see
it's
some
right
green stuff
there.
and some undercooked chicken.
just underneath. That's shrimp, bro.
And there's some radish slices.
Yeah. I believe that's
Where's the fork?
lotus.
You said that's
Where's the
shrimp.
fork?
Yeah, those are shrimp.
That ain't no shrimp. That ain't
That's
no,
look.
that ain't
There's
no
the tail
Bubba
right
Gump.
there.
That ain't no Bubba Gump shrimp. And there's no
Yes.
fork.
I'm going to
There's
stop
no-
before I offend a country.
Wait a minute. Can you eat with chopsticks?
Yes, I can.
Damn.
Yep.
I would be
can't.
dropping. Forget it, man. I would be dropping that thing. I'd be like, I gotta eat with my hands, or give me a fork
And
and knife, please. I don't want to be
if you-
disrespectful.
If you get the option, or if you get the opportunity, I highly recommend ordering a chuhai.
What's it too high?
It is a Japanese distilled liquor, soda water, and flavor. They
So is
are
that like
dangerous.
a lemonade? Is that like a lemonade or
A lemonade on steroids.
Oh, I like lemonade.
That was the green apple. You could taste a little bit of the liquor on the back end. The orange, you could not taste the alcohol at all.
Right.
They will get you in trouble.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, we had fun, and then one night we had this one where you actually cook it in the pot there on the table. But it actually brings it to the table,
And then you cook it.
and then you cook it.
I don't understand that.
And that was three of us, and I think that was maybe
Oh,
25,
Joe
30
Brett, we
bucks
gotta go.
total.
I ain't going to that.
Yes, we are. This is gonna be.
I'm
Yes,
not paying
is-
for it.
This is gonna be a club. The clubhouse is
I'm
gonna
going
go
to tell
to
you right
Japan.
now, I go to a restaurant that's nice and they bring me something to cook my food with. I'm getting up, walking out. I'll pay for my water, whatever. I'm leaving.
No, this is gonna be a club. Clubhouse is going on the road. We're gonna go on the road.
I'm not cooking my food
Yeah.
at a restaurant. That's bad enough I bag my own groceries at the store.
Yep. I will tell you, I had an absolute blast.
I don't know where this self-serve pay more function comes from in corporate world, but
Well, I like how the robot had the light under it, so you knew
Yep.
that was your tray. And then
Right.
She turned the. Is it a
see, that's
she or
another
Alma?
thing. There's everybody else's breath as it's walking through the restaurant with it.
Yeah. But the flight over there,
Yeah, hell, man, do you have to tip?
no, they
The
do not
show ain't
tip.
about to.
They do not tip over there.
You cook
What do
your
you
own
Some of
food.
the some of the Americanized places,
You ought to get money back. You ought to get paid. to
Is it-
cook your
is
own
it-
food.
is
If I'm
Something-
cooking my
why?
own food, you better tip me.
Right.
It's like-
so the flight in, we were getting 451 mile across the ground, but we had 125 mile an hour headwind.
Now, see, this is I'm sensing something from you folks that fly overseas and stuff. There's Eric, and there's the sushi conveyors are pretty sweet. Now, ain't nothing sweet about that. I don't want my food going past everybody else's table while they look at it go by, because you know
What's the difference when the waiter or the waitress is holding?
they holding it
the
above
tray?
people's heads,
Yep.
Oh, so you
that
mean to
conveyor
tell
was
me-
above my head.
and she
That
can
conve-
slap somebody if they reach for it.
Yeah.
You
That
don't know
conveyor
that.
was above my head.
What if I took that off the conveyor thinking it was mine? And so, this ain't mine.
No, you didn't see it kick over
Yeah,
when it
Yeah,
got to my table.
yeah.
Yeah, that the inner conveyor is far enough in that you know it's not yours.
Joe, they're running AI. Joe, they're running AI over there.
Oh yeah.
Multi-generations above than what we have on this chat GTP stuff. It knows your face, and it knows the fish you want. It already knows.
I'm just kind of odd. I don't like it when the waitress or waiter goes with like 2 or 3 cups to refill them at the same time. Like, how do you know you're gonna get my cup back to me and not switch them around?
Could you?
They
just
know
get
the fish
steak?
I want, but they can't put 220 in a damn radio. Come on.
Well,
Steve, was there regular food when you say more traditional American kind of like? Could you get a steak?
Yeah.
You know,
they had places that were very Americanized. I was right there by the base.
Okay.
So they had your Americanized places. I stayed away from those because I wanted to experience the culture.
Okay, I get it.
I was over there, first time in Japan.
I do like doing that. I don't want to cook it because I don't know how to cook it, and I don't want it to come down a conveyor belt because that's for Amazon boxes, not food.
No.
Yeah.
I figured there'd be the Japanese girl, walking up. Hello, Mr. Steve. And this is our specials, and you're gonna.
My plate of food would fall off the conveyor like my ATOS did in Alabama, and then I have to pay for two plates of food.
No, because if it doesn't hit the end, you don't pay for it.
Now racket
Joe,
that a little bit.
I will tell you, they do have the conveyors that go around the bar, where it goes past everybody, and you pay for the sushi based on the color plate.
Color plate? Which one's the cheapest?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So,
color plate.
Each plate is a different color or different shape, and based on which plate it is the cost of the sushi.
So what's the price range?
I didn't go into that one. I walked past it. We were headed over to the ramen place when we saw that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was a little more expensive because they pre-make a lot of the sushi, but it's made that day. And if you go after 7 p.m., it becomes half price because they close at 9.
I want to know something else, too.
But if it's going past everybody, for an hour, I don't want it.
Well,
I'm with Joe on that one.
I want to know when the hell a 50-cent pack of ramen noodles become a restaurant.
Oh,
it's the big rave. You want to go get some ramen? And I'm like,
this is not your dollar store ramen. This is
ramen's ramen.
No.
To Joe's point,
if they use a different noodle, then it ain't ramen. Okay,
Americanized ramen.
To Joe's point, Maggie worked back, and she's going to be going back.
We'll get some inside information here.
Yep.
Okay, she's working at this place called the Poke Bowl, I think it's called, or I think a
Show
Poke
ain't eating
Bowl.
there. God. Dog.
But there's noodles on noodles on noodles, and I said, "What do you serve?" She says, "Noodles, ramen, and all." That's these college kids. They don't want the ramen in the hot water in the microwave. They will go out to them, and it's a meal in a special. I think it's a special bowl. I think, and they're ordering these poke bowls with the beef and the chicken or whatever. I don't know, Joe, but it's the greatest. It's a hot thing.
It ain't the greatest. Don't you say that?
To them it was because in our day we were eating pop. Listen, I didn't go to college, but there were the days when I ate Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tart was my dinner.
Pop-Tarts or frozen
Captain
pizza.
Crunch. Frozen pizza, Celeste pizza, a Captain Crunch.
No.
Life
Tombstone.
cereal.
Tombstone from the freezer section.
Tombstone too. Exactly. You name them all.
No. But if you're talking the poke bowls, that's usually a raw fish.
That's a raw fish?
Yeah, I don't. Lucas
is
in there
raw
saying
fish.
the cheap ramen.
And that's poke is Hawaiian. Eric's right.
If I take, if you change the noodle, then it's not that. That's not what it is anymore.
Right.
So if it's a ramen bowl, it's a freaking 50-cent bowl of noodle. Put some egg noodles in it. I'll pay $1 for it. I like some egg noodles, but if you
this was top end, and it was so the one with the shrimp was 750 yen, and I'm not going to do the math. I'm going to cheat and pull it up.
It's still doing the math. You're just not using your head.
Well, yeah.
I was just gonna say, man, you're not doing. Did you bring back any of that Japanese money so we can
Oh
see
yeah,
it too?
yeah. I've got 3,000 yen in the other room.
Okay, now, but what's that worth? Like $10?
Okay, so the $750 or 750 yen bowl of ramen was $5.20.
And you eat this thing hot?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steaming hot.
Do you put any oyster? Does it come with like oyster crackers? Because I gotta have oyster crackers in my soups.
Nope.
Or is that an insult? Will they get mad at me? Will the chef,
Yes.
with that hibachi chef, come out with that big hatchet, with that big butcher knife and say, "Get the hell out of my restaurant"?
And the louder you slurp it, the more satisfied they are that they did it right.
I could do that part.
Yeah.
Because they don't have spoons. That's the problem.
Right.
I
No, they've
could
got
go out to
spoons.
eat with you guys.
But 3,000 yen's $20.82.
Hey, Joe, can you imagine going to a Waffle House? Hey,
I'll go. I prefer the Huddle House. They got a bigger menu. But
go into Denny's or the Waffle House or your
Yeah.
local diner, and I'll take a bowl of ramen, please. They're gonna look at you and say, "What the hell?"
I don't understand. Like, I don't care what it is. A bowl of soup going out to eat somewhere should be included with my meal. I'm not going to order it separate and pay.
It's
No,
it's like
that
the
was the
salad.
meal.
It's like
I
the
know
salad.
it was the
That-
meal, but I'm
that-
just saying.
That bowl of ramen is filling.
It can't be.
Oh,
Steve,
it
you
was.
and Steve,
And I'm a fat
an
boy.
hour
You
later,
know that.
I know that, but an hour later, you had to be hungry. 90
Nope.
minutes, you had to be hungry.
Nope.
You did not. Oh, come on.
I was good. And
Because he was
Actually-
too scared to go out after dark.
no. After going out to the ramen, my coworker and I actually hiked around the city, and I got this picture. That is a Royal Caribbean cruise ship sailing by that you see just over the city there. I actually had some friends from Oklahoma
They
City
ain't
that
eating
were
a
on that
bowl of
ship.
noodles on that ship.
No, they're not. But they spent a whole lot more money than I did to go. And
Now, do they have? You mentioned like Waffle House. Do they have a Waffle House there? And does like the robot bring you a pair of Eggo waffles and a goddamn toaster, and you got to push that?
yeah, well, hey,
How do you want
don't
your eggs?
knock the 7-Eleven
Why? What do they got?
because everything. They
They
had
probably have crazy
pancakes.
stuff.
They had pancakes ready to cook that already had the maple syrup in them. Damn things were good.
They had some microwavable pancakes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did they have the
They-
hot dog? Did they have the
They-
hot dog sitting on
They
the
did
roller?
not have the hot dog roller.
How about a Slurpee?
Nope.
They didn't have a. Then that's not a real 7.
I know right now, Steve's a cheap date. That's all you can say.
Yeah.
Boy. It don't take
I
much
am.
to please Steve.
Give me a Slurpee. Give me some beef sticks. Some Slim Jims and a Reese's peanut butter cup.
So there's breakfast in the airport
What?
from
That ain't,
7-Eleven.
that ain't no breakfast.
Can you zoom in on
Don't
that?
tell me that fills you up. Do not tell me that's
No, that did not. But
Okay. What's that?
Enhance.
Apples?
Enhance.
What is that thing?
that is pears and strawberries with whipped cream, or peaches, strawberries and whipped cream.
in a vending machine.
No, this was on the shelf in 7-Eleven in the cold shelf.
Okay.
All right, what's on the left there? What's a melon pan?
Melon pan's a sweet bread. It's a very
Okay.
airy loaf.
Can you put some peanut butter on it or something?
You could, but it didn't need it.
How about the coffee?
I stayed Americano on the coffee.
Okay.
I don't deviate on my coffee.
Now, I love to try different foods.
Oh, Steve, go back to one of those
places.
pictures. I see candy.
Oh, well, all right. Let's.
I saw a candy selection. Hang on.
No, that's actually not a candy section. That was a picture I
Oh.
sent to Dana.
Was it something
oh.
dirty? Was it something dirty? Some of that
No,
Japanese,
it's
adult
freaking
stuff?
Hello Kitty.
Oh, hello.
She's gotten into Hello Kitty, and
Hello, Kitty.
they've
Hello
got
Kitty.
all these freaking Hello
What a-
Kitty items.
What are like keychains and hanging from here and hanging?
Yeah,
from
I don't
there?
see one dang cat. Oh, up top left, I see some cats.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's Hello Kitty there, and they've got all the different. But she didn't respond which one she wanted. So
You should have got one of each.
One of each, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what you do.
I
That's how you
should
keep
have.
a woman
They're
happy.
probably one of each probably cost you $3.
Yeah.
950 yen a piece. Yeah, this was one of the more expensive stores.
Was that from the airport?
No, this was a store called Don Quixote.
Okay. A lot of vending machines?
Mm-hmm.
And
Vending
is it
machines
true-
everywhere.
Okay,
No trash
okay.
cans.
Okay, so vending machines, and is it like a lot of variety of stuff in the vending machines?
Depends on the machine. They had a lot of the drink vending machines around, and they had hot and cold drinks in some of them. Yeah, they had hot canned coffee in some of the vending machines.
Okay.
I didn't dare.
Anything crazy? Anything crazy that you wouldn't think would be in a vending
They had a
machine?
bread vending machine.
Bread.
Yep.
Really?
And then you take it back home and finish baking it.
Oh.
That was kind of crazy.
Anything risque? Anything risque? And you don't have to say, but just
the hell is risque?
they're
you know
pretty.
what I mean.
They're pretty
Adultish.
modest. Well, so here's the crazy thing: smoking is not legal in public in Japan.
Uh-oh.
They don't want to influence the kids,
Nice.
so they had walled-off smoking sections in the park. So you had this
Walled off.
Near the toilets there was a waiting area, and that was where you stood and smoked.
Was that like the red light district?
No, this was middle of town.
Seemed kind of dangerous lighting up around all that methane.
Oh, you tell it. We walked past one store that was a bakery that there was no employees. It was totally on the honor system. You go in, pick what you want, pay for it, walk out.
Oh, there's somebody watching.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody watching.
Somebody gonna chop them hands off.
You're gonna have some nunchucks coming at you if you don't put some yen in that basket.
Yep. But yeah, it was an amazing trip. I actually wish I could have been there longer because I didn't get a chance to really explore.
They don't give you the option.
I was working more than 8 hours a day.
See, like if I go on work trips, we can extend them. It's just on our dime.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Did you meet any ham radio operators over there? Did you see any
Hell,
ham
he
radio
didn't even
stuff?
go to the ham radio shop. He went to Hello Kitty and a Ramen Noodles.
Yeah.
Asked if he met
I
any
looked-
ham radio operators.
I did look for where the ham radio shop was.
Uh-huh.
And actually, there were a couple of ham radio operators on the ship with me.
Excellent.
But none of us had Japanese licenses. You have to apply for that 60 days out.
Who's gonna know?
They're gonna know. We weren't allowed to use
How they know your
extreme high
signal's coming
frequency.
from there?
You don't listen. You don't want to go to no Japanese jail and prison.
Could at least,
I would
could at least text one of us and be like, "Hey, listen on 7 dot something."
I didn't
Seven
even
dot.
take
Listen, just
I
listen
hear
on
you, Steve. I
7.
hear you.
Yeah,
didn't-
7.200. That's all you had to
Yep.
say.
Did not even take a radio because I didn't want to fight with customs for not having a license.
Somebody, there's radios on the ship, man. They
Yeah.
tune to it. I know this.
They all tuned to. They all,
we're not going to talk about the radio.
They go DC to daylight. We know it. We know they do.
Yeah. And
Somebody comes up knocking on the door and say, "I got a signal from here." It must have been a long path.
We're a long path. Right. Skips
Yeah.
open.
And I will
Bands
tell
open. Bands open.
1,500 watts be damned. On the
11
ship?
meter. You tell them 11 meters.
Now wait a
open
minute.
right
Wait a minute. If you own an American ship, right?
Yes.
Then rules don't apply, right?
No, they do.
Ah,
We were in a Japanese port.
Japanese water.
well, if you untie the ropes and floating in the water, you'd have been all right.
7 miles
Yeah,
out.
a little large to just untie the ropes and not get caught. I was on an aircraft carrier, my boy.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
big pontoon there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's your flight escape out then. I've seen enough James Bond movies.
We didn't have any aircraft on deck.
No, they're all hiding. They're all down below, man. All folded up. All folded up like that Japanese, the origami stuff. And then they gotta come out. You gotta like.
What dang good's that boat then? They gotta wait.
Origami.
They gotta wait for you to fix the networking cables on it before they can put a plane on it.
Eric, I was actually in radio. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's where I was working. But yeah, we had a little more than 1,500 watts. So,
Any cigars out there? Anything?
I didn't see any cigar shops because, like I said, and Mike even said it, they treat smokers like lepers.
So you're in the wrong part of town then. Because when I go on the YouTube and I see these walking, the walking, man, they're hitting everything, man. You see everything going on, man.
I will tell you, I did pass a vending machine that still had cigarettes in it.
Okay.
And it's been a long time since I've seen one of those.
Is it one of the ones with the levers that you would pull?
The levers you got to pull, Mike.
No,
exactly.
This one was push button. This one was push button.
Let me guess. Take your credit card.
Most of them were cash. So,
like I said, so you were in the nice section of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't venture too deep into the depths.
Yeah.
But
Mama-san, come over here. Go for a ride.
Friday we did get out a little early, and I'm gonna get in trouble, but the scenery is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
If you track what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I was wondering if there's certain places in town you walk by and get grabbed up by a girlfriend.
Well, just walk down the mall.
Hey, sailor. Hey, sailor.
Mm-hmm. They know you're American.
$20 going to make you holla.
$20.
I was just thinking that with Steve's mustache, like I was afraid for his safety. I'm like, he goes walking the street by himself.
That's why I didn't go out alone.
Ah.
Mama raised a flower, not a blooming idiot. So.
Oh my God.
Hambo Adventures. There's a vending machine near Churro that serves Kern beer.
Wow.
So.
Could you walk around with a drink, or is that kind of shunned too?
No. Absolutely. You could walk around drinking whatever you had in your hand.
Open.
No rules against it.
But they didn't want the cigarette stuff. I find that interesting.
Right. Well, because how do you know it's water or, a chew high?
Yes, you can.
Or beer.
Guess you don't. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Chew high.
Too high.
All right. Steve said chew high. You said too high.
I'm sorry. CHU. Chew high.
CHU. Yep.
What is that?
It can be made with vodka, but it's actually a Japanese distilled liquor. Soda water and flavor.
I'll try it.
They were damn good. Like I said, they were damn good.
Are they strong?
They're actually less alcohol content than sake or beer, but they will sneak up on you. 3 or 4 of those, and
I need the chuhachi then.
Yeah,
3 to 4 of those, and you start dancing with the robot waitress. Then, huh? That's what happens.
Yep. And a few of the guys that have been to Huntsville know I could hang with some of the best of them, but
I don't know about that. When you hold on to the same beer for 2 hours, Steve, that don't count.
Talk to AYO. Ask him how much of his liquor I drank.
I just kidding. I don't pay attention how long somebody keeps. I'm too busy with my own.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it was a good time.
Good time.
Good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. Like I said, the flight over and back sucked. I got middle seat both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But
so, how did you? What was there like a layover in California and then California straight out? Or
it was
how did you do it?
Tokyo to Dulles, Washington D.C., and then Dulles to Charleston.
Oh,
yeah, it was a long damn flight.
Let's see. Let's touch on this because I think Eric's done mentioned this 5 times. What is Cocos? Did you not get no Cocos?
I didn't get Cocos. I'm not sure what Cocos are.
Coco? Is he talking about Coco?
We might not be needing to say that on stream.
Is he talking about Cocoa Puff cereal or something different that I don't know about?
I was gonna say, Eric, you might hit me on Discord. Let me know what exactly it is. But, curry. Okay.
Oh, that's curry.
Let me ask.
I'm afraid of that stuff.
Let me. What is curry? Curry. Because I go to Thai restaurants. I love some Thai, but I don't know about that curry stuff. It looks like soup, and that looks like ramen, and it don't look like it's worth my value.
It's going to clean out your nose if you're all congested.
Not always.
That depends on what level you get.
No. Oh,
That's hot. That stuff is hot, man, isn't it?
yeah. Eric, sounds like there's another trip to Japan coming up for me here real soon. So I will definitely have to look up Coco's and let me know where it's at.
Huh.
Because
Wow.
I'll either be back in Yokosuka or I'll be down in Sasebo.
No, Frank, I don't like no lamb.
Well, Steve, then you should be applying for your reciprocal now. Then, if it's
Yeah.
good for a year or so, find out the details. But that's what I would be doing, man.
For real, and bring no gigawatts off the ship to
Yeah,
the
man.
US.
Get yourself a JA call, man. That'd
We'll
be
do it
awesome.
live, man.
Yes, here. That's right. We'll fire up the rigs. I got the rig sitting right back there.
Oh, yeah. 8 o'clock at night is 8 o'clock in the morning for you.
There you go. Good morning. Good morning, waffles and cocoa, and let's go.
Jason, I will neither confirm nor deny if we went to the karaoke bar.
Uh-oh.
That's
That
for the
means-
Discord after chat.
Little
That
fuzzy.
means yes, and there's a lot of yeses. There's a lot of in between yes there. So
Okay, there's a Coco's for every third 7-Eleven.
Hmm.
I wonder if that's the place I passed right next to the 7-Eleven that the spice was just wiping me out when I walked past.
that's what I said, man.
May have to try that one when I go back.
Huh.
So,
Well,
I go to Singapore. There might be something there too. We'll see.
Joey's talking about some waffles and cocoa. That's how you wake up.
Oh yeah.
I think there's some better ways to wake up, but
Just make sure you're not too far from the porcelain god.
All right, so let's talk about what
level 2 out of 10. Yeah, I know where you're talking now, Eric.
Okay.
I remember the guys talking about that.
out of 10. Well, that's
Yeah.
something I learned yesterday. I had to go down to state office yesterday, and we all went out to Thai, and I just love me some Thai, man. And I always get level 3, 1 through 5.
Okay.
Get level 3 spice. It's just right to me. But then I found out you can order more than 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys like, man, my wife always asks for 6, and we're like, 6.
Yeah.
So there's an unspoken, unmenued spice level.
Let me guess. So there's a bottle in the back room that has like the skull and the crossbones on it.
Mm-hmm.
No one talks about it, you know what I mean, unless you give the wink.
I've got a Thai place here in town that you can order mild, medium, hot, or if you know about it, you can go Thai hot. And I was picking up lunch for a group one day, and I ordered it Thai hot, and they looked at me and they went, "For you, white boy?" And I went, "No, it's for my developers." And they were from Thailand, so they're like, "Oh, okay."
First time I went to Thai with the group, I didn't understand what the guy was saying, and I heard 1 through 5, and like, more food the better, right? I said 5,
Oh,
and the guy standing next to me looked at me and went, I'm like, what is that? They said spice level. You ain't ready for 5. So,
okay,
okay,
ready for 5? Yep.
Yeah, my brother's wife is Thai, and
Okay.
she grows peppers in the garden. And
Oh.
I don't know, Izzo, do you know what chicken riggies are? You ever have chicken riggies? It's like a central
No.
New York dish.
No,
But
never heard of it.
it's chicken
No.
and rigatoni, but it's in like a vodka sauce, and it's generally spicy. But,
Yes, okay. I've seen it, but we didn't. It's
yeah.
just never been called that, though. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
chicken riggies, and so it's a vodka sauce, spicy, and oh my gosh, the chicken riggies that my sister-in-law makes, it's just
Well, a
phenomenal
vodka
because
sauce
it's-
vodka sauce is not hot. It's just sauce with some cream in it.
Yeah.
That
Yep,
thickens
yep.
it
So it's
up.
that kind of a sauce, but
Right.
it's generally
you-
hot.
Right. And then you add what you like to kick it up a few notches, like the pepper flakes or whatever.
Yeah, they have like some cherry peppers normally in the riggies, so there's like a little bit of spice. It's not bad, but hers, oh my gosh, when she ties it up, it's so good. It's
See, when you say a little bit for you, that's flaming hot for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's break out the sweat towel.
Oh my God, that's I can't. I don't even.
You know it's
don't
good
even-
then.
No.
Clear
I'll
your
take your word for it.
sinuses.
I'll
Don't
watch,
have to worry
I'll
about
watch
thing.
it. Nah, I'll watch you guys from across the table. That's all.
No, you wouldn't be able to sit at the table. The place Eric's talking about, though, some of the guys on the ship were talking about it, and one guy was, saying he got to level 6, but he couldn't finish it. It was too hot. And they go to level 10. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Ugh, no.
I like spicy food, but I want to finish what it is,
Right.
whether it's riggies or wings or whatever it is. Like I want to be able to finish it. I don't want to have to pound a beer or
Yeah,
a glass of milk or water like after
while...
every single bite. I want to
Right.
finish it, but I want to sweat. I want the heat, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to finish it. I want to eat.
Yep.
So, Mike, what do you got going on coming up on Sunday? Let's talk about what Mike wants to do on Sunday.
Sunday is going to be my youngest son's birthday party, but
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah.
But like any good ham radio operator, we're going to include some radio in that festivities.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. His birthday's on Friday, so we didn't know when it was going to fall when I came up with this, and I teased it when I was on the show a couple weeks ago. May 25th is Sunday, and that's 52525, which the calling frequency for 6 meter AM is 52525. So 52525. It's just a nerdy opportunity, and I'm trying to just encourage people to get out and play on 6 meter FM. We're getting close to 6 meter season. There's been some openings. Those that do 6 regularly will say that's always open. You just gotta wait for it or look for it and be throwing your calls out and stuff. But ultimately, whether there's an opening or not, just get people on the band and get active and have fun. So I've encouraged a lot of POTA and SOTA folks to get out and activate on 6 meters. But you don't need to do that. It's just, whether you're in the mobile at home, if you want to go out to a park or a summit, just play on 6, see what happens.
Yep.
I know a lot of people complain about 6 and some other bands like it's never open, no one's ever on there or whatever. Well, it's what I'm trying to fix, and just it's a unique opportunity. I think I got the idea because my older son, who has his general, we went out and we did a POTA on February 22nd in 22. And so the date was 2/22/22. It was on a Tuesday, and we went out 2 ops to a POTA twofer and did a 2 meter activation. Just
nice.
For fun. And it was a last second thought. I don't know what prompted it, but I was leaving work and I texted a couple people and I was like, hey, Ben and I are going out. We're going to be on 2 meters. And, we worked, maybe between like 15, 20 people or something. We had fun. It's all local, but, some of the people appreciate hearing simplex traffic on, 2 meters local, it's
would have
the
been
band.
great to get 22 contacts.
Yeah, things are getting used.
Right.
So, I can't remember. I'd have to look at logs and see. You could pull it up, Steve, and see.
Yeah.
You look back at because it would have been from February 22nd. But we had fun, and then when I realized that 52525, I'm like, oh man, that's the calling frequency for 6. Let's get out there and get on it, and that's it. I'm not trying, like some people have asked when I've talked about it. They're like, well, what time or is there an exchange or anything? It's like, no, just get on. Whatever works for you. I'll be on in the morning, early afternoon, because we're gonna have family and stuff over in the afternoon, evening. But when I go back home, I'll probably, you see it in the photo there on the deck, I'll probably set up that's the Mobile Beam 3-element Yagi. I'll probably set that up and play, and hey, maybe some kids will see and get interested, especially if there's an open or I get a cool contact. Some of the kids will be like, hey, what are you doing? What's this?
Yep. You had 14 contacts.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Not bad.
Yeah. No,
Well,
like I said, it was
that's actually
at least
really
a dozen, and it was fun. And I think sometimes we get caught up and we forget that radio is supposed to be fun. And also people, I think, have a tendency, they get afraid. And Mike's, video on it was great on failure. Some people are just afraid to fail. They're afraid to go out and try something different because they don't know. And or we get caught up with the indecision paralysis. We try to be perfectionists and or whatever. But trying new and different things, it's okay if you don't like it. I'm not saying everyone's got to get on and fall in love with 6 meters, but give it a shot, and maybe, it'll encourage you, if you get lucky, to try it again. And next thing you know, there's a little bit more activity here or there. People aren't as reluctant to give it a shot. And then there's fewer and fewer people complaining. And, at the end of the day, if we don't use it, we lose it, is the way I look at some of the band stuff.
Well, it's funny because with the band conditions, the last 2 weeks have been very interesting. Mm-hmm. And on social media, a lot of the guys were going up to 6 meters, just hanging out because the solar activity wasn't affecting it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that might have sparked, because it sparked my interest.
Yeah, there's not going to be blackouts on 2 or 6 or anything like that.
And then when you put this out, you sparked my interest on this too. So,
yeah, I think I do the June, or not, I do all the VHF contests, right? and I combine them with Soda and POTA. But when I did that was the June. It was the September contest. I did FM only. I just wanted to see what that was like. And there's a lot of people doing the weak signal stuff. And if you have a 705 or the new Yaesu, and you can do FT-8 or sideband on 2 meters, it makes a huge difference. You can get out so much more with the weak signal modes than you can with FM or AM that are taking up so much bandwidth. But I just wanted to see what I could do. And I mean, whether it was on 2 meters or 6 meters, like I was getting contacts, 100 miles plus simplex, across the lake into Canada. Some of it was tropo, I'm sure. But I think it was 100, 130 miles when I measured some of them line of sight.
Wow. And
that was with just modest antennas with J-poles or speaker wire dipoles. I didn't even set up the Yagi because I was roving and I was bouncing between 3 different parks. I didn't want to waste the time. So I just used a quarter wave telescoping whip for 6 on a mag mount on the car, and was still getting out there. Obviously not as far being on FM, but it's worth a shot. You just try, see what it is. There's a lot of mobiles that actually are the quad band ones that'll do 6, and people probably don't use them as much because you're limited, in those quad band antennas that you can get. But there's some of those, like the TYTs or whatever they are, they'll do 270, 6 and 10 on FM, and give it a shot.
And shout out to N8YO. He just worked DL88 on 6 meters.
Where is that? Where is that grid square?
Big Bend National Park down in Texas.
Cool.
There's a very slim section of DL88 that is in the U.S.
Oh.
Wow. Nice. Congratulations, Mike. Nice job.
Very nice. Very nice.
Matter of fact, let me grab the screen share here of it.
It's got me a Whiskey 7 on 6 meter.
So below that black line, but above the squiggly line.
Yeah.
That's all that's in DL88 in the U.S.
Wow. That's not much.
Nice job, Mike. Nice job.
Very cool.
That's all mostly a Mexico grid. But, Mike, how much power were you running? That's my question. Because I know you were building that amp for 6.
Yeah.
He ain't got that thing going yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have it going yet, though.
Lights were not dimming? You mean
it's not going to drag in his feet, man.
So you're telling me Jason's going to build the DX Commander first?
100 watts with 7 elements. So.
Okay. That's not too shabby, but...
Look at what Shane did.
Close to like 10 dB gain there.
Guys, look at what Shane did with his DX Commander. Building it.
Built it.
Got it in the hallway of the apartment there. And
I'd never seen a horizontal one before. That was cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to walk over.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim. What's going on?
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim missed a great opportunity to buy a great radio, man. Try to get him to buy
What he
it.
passed up on?
I don't remember what it was. What was it, Jim?
Spending his money, Joe. Joe, were you going to spend his money?
Yeah, he said, I want to think about it. I said, well, go walk around and think about it. I'll stand here with radio. Leave me the cash.
Gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was. We made one loop and it was gone.
Wow. See?
I made that mistake at a local fest last year. Right. I set my bag down, went to get a coffee. I had just got there and it was gone. Like
1,000.
10, 15 minutes.
FT-1000 MP.
It's an older radio, but it's pretty. Guy come down $50 right off the bat.
$50 and you had to think about it?
It was
Oh,
from
$550.
Come off $50. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Joe, Brett, and Mike, what did you guys think of the food?
It was fine. Like, I mean, I didn't notice a difference from last year. Like, I got the pork chop sandwich again, and I got the bourbon chicken, which I got not last year, but like the year before. And I mean, it was fine.
You like that?
It wasn't on conveyor belts. There were no robots or shit like that. But like, it still worked. Like, they cooked it for you. You had to wait in line forever if you didn't time it right. But you know, it was all good.
Jim, I have to say, man, Jim pretty good guy. Y'all may not believe it, but he's a pretty good guy. He bought me my pork chop sandwich because I walked up to that trailer and I said, $14. Golly.
Good Lord.
I said, what else can I get? Like the corn dog was like $6. I was like, man, I think I'll just wait. I'll just go hungry.
That's about how it is in Orlando too. They got you though.
And Jim bought me one, so I'm indebted. But it was pretty good. Nobody told me it had a dang bone in it though. I'll chop down on that bone. I had to go see a dentist.
Whose video was it? Mike's video on that? It had the two different sauces.
Yeah,
the
he
bone
put both
in.
of them on. That was good.
Yeah,
I had it with the gold sauce last year, and it was good. And I saw his video, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just stick with that. Like, if it ain't broke, don't break it. Like, just just run with it, and that's good. But no, it's good. I'm surprised that you can, like, a pork chop is like that tender, you know, and like I would not have thought that it's good.
It's a delicate cooking process.
I bet.
1 minute overcooked and it's not that good.
It dries up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, please tell me you're meaning no sauce.
What?
Hang on. I'll share
the guys are talking about the bone in. The bone in is for the flavor, though, right?
Yeah, I didn't add no sauce.
He said he eats the pork chop sandwich naked, and I hope he means no sauce.
and like no bread. Or
there's rules against that.
Yeah.
Misha, 33 outside. Where are you at?
Man, my furnace kicked on in the middle of the night last night.
It was 94 degrees here today.
Oh,
yeah, we had like a frost warning the other day.
Oh, man.
I had a frost, but it wasn't outside. I had to de-thaw the darn air conditioner unit. We come in another day and it was almost 80 degrees in the house. I told her, I said, I bet the AC's froze up. Sure enough.
Yep.
Let me tell you, so we had so much rain this week or last couple weeks. Back on last Monday, it was just so nice to see the sun. Tuesday, Wednesday, it was just so nice to see sunshine. My God, it is psychological. I am a firm believer. It's psychological. You got to have some sunshine, some of that warmth.
It was warm out there the first day. When I first got out there Thursday and got out the car. And I mean, it'd been cool back in New York, and it got out and it was warm, and even a little humid and stuff. It was just like, damn. But it was nice out there, like during the show. I know that the weather in the evening, like one of the nights, some pretty bad storms. Like it didn't affect me, but if anyone was camping out, that probably wasn't cool.
Well, Jim, you see this in the chat. Oh, James is saying the vendor side was $11. The backside of the truck's $11.
Jim, do you want to come on? We'll send you the link. You could discuss this.
I'll tell you what, though. My tip is and I learned this kind of last year too. If I stay in a hotel because I got points and just use that, I grab a bunch of napkins and throw them in my bag when I'm eating breakfast in the hotel before I go to the show, because the vendors, they run out. If you were going later for lunch, they run out, or they just giving you like one or two little thin things. And when you eat something like, especially like the pork chop sandwich, if you're getting sauce on it, or even the bourbon chicken, something like that, that's sticky, like if you don't have wipes or napkins, like you might be
dude wipe, man. That's why dude wipes are also good for your hands too, and your face. You know, just don't use them all everywhere. Just segregate. When you go to use them. But yeah, man, that dude wipe takes care of that business. Absolutely.
All right, who's running FT8?
Yeah, I heard that FT8 stuff going on.
I am. I'm on 6 meter FT8, dude.
There you go.
Use it or lose it.
There's a bunch of stations on FT8 right now.
There you go.
Nice.
Why the heck they ain't none of them using their voice? I don't know, but
It's all right.
yes, that's I like your idea, Mike. I would have never thought about the date and the frequency coming up, so I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah,
maybe some people will get on.
And who knows? Maybe there's some other ones. I don't know. Like, you just start looking at dates and thinking about random frequencies or whatever. But
good. He's wearing a shirt.
Who's that?
Hey,
there
Jim.
he is.
There he is.
I was eating my pork chop sandwich naked.
Golly.
No sauce. No
You
sauce.
took one home?
No, man. They don't travel 9 hours well.
No, I bet not.
So
Jim, listening to you last night, I felt bad for you because your voice, it's better tonight. But man, I felt sorry for you last night. Sounded like your voice was struggling there when the show
I was
first
yelling
started.
at JoeBrett the entire weekend. Joe, don't touch that. Joe, don't look
Have
at
some
that.
have some manners. You tell him have some manners.
No, Joe, you hillbilly, don't. No, people don't do that in the North, Joe.
Yeah. Y'all go watch that 360 video of walking
That
with
was
Jim.
awesome. Joe's, I watched those today.
And I sit there and turn around like, where the hell Jim go now?
The one that I was most interested in was when we walked up to the MP 1000. I
Yeah.
was like, I wonder if that guy's call sign is visible so I can figure it out and call him. I was looking on QRZ today to see if I could figure that guy out. I found some 1000s on there, but I'm not sure I found the dude, and nothing for 550.
It was pretty funny. Me and Jim probably called each other 2 or 3 times. Like, where you at now?
Yeah.
Because we'd wander off in different directions.
Yeah.
Did you use your cell phone or the radio?
The cell phone.
Cell phone.
I forgot my radio.
Mine was in my bag back at base camp. So,
Well, actually, I think that day, my radio was with me, but it was on my bag and I couldn't reach it. You can't reach back and get those belt clips off of Molly pack.
No, that ain't happening.
And I didn't bring no shoulder mic,
Jim, so Jim, according to JoeBrett, our boy Chuck, he's quite a seller there. I wonder if he has.
Depends on what he's selling. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Could it be used cars or ham equipment or tow rides?
I would not trust to buy a car from him because he could sell ice cream bars to Eskimos the way he was going at it.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Sounds like.
Chuck made he's been working on it for months because he shows it every time before the show. Chuck is showing his key. Okay, so I did this and I modified this 0.02 microns to the left.
Oh,
and then I changed out the magnet and I'm like, oh my God, please quit talking to me about the key, Chuck. It's beautiful. Move on. And, I mean, he did a really good job. It's a really nice little key. And he's charging, I think, $45 for it. Brother sold out of everyone he brought. He brought 30 or so.
good.
wow.
So
good for him.
Sold out.
Good for him.
And I'm like, I printed some rails for radios. I didn't sell any of those this time. I sold 6 or 7 at Orlando, but I didn't sell any rail kits.
Do you think because more people have 3D printers now, they're doing it themselves?
I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. I mean, Don, my target market is you, not JoeBrett, right? Ooh,
right,
3D printing, evil, scary.
Right, you're right. I will not have one. I'm sure my son next year is going to have one. I know that already.
There's a lot of guys, especially our age, Don, because I think I'm the oldest one in here. In your age group to mine, that are never going to have a 3D printer. They don't want one. They don't see that it's just for printing toys.
No, because I'll pay you $20, somewhere between 15 to $30 for whatever. And listen, no disrespect. A set of rails, I only need one set of rails. It's a one-time buy. You know it. It's a one-time buy, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now I've had some feedback from other people. I don't want plastic rails.
Well, what do they want?
Metal ones.
Okay.
I have 2 points to argue that, but the first one is metal rails for an 891, for example. What are those? $150 or so dollars.
Yeah.
Jim's rail kit out of plastic that ain't going to melt and can take a hell of a beating is $35. There's the first thought. The
And
second
no
thought
brainer.
is
No,
if you
that's
break
no
it, Jim
brainer.
will print you another one.
I can for another $35, but
Well,
You take the money you save and then you buy a tuner. You're good.
yeah, there you go. And the other thing, my logic on it, and I think I'm right on this. I wouldn't swear to it. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but if you have metal rails, absolutely they will not break, right? I mean, they probably are Shane proof. He's not here, so I can talk some shite about him, but maybe.
We're in the second hour. You can say shit.
But okay. But you know, the thing with the plastic rails, it's like a crumple zone. Yes, they may break, but they're going to absorb that impact. Whereas a metal rail kit, in my opinion, is probably worse for the electronics because while it'll protect the screen, it's going to transmit all the shock straight into the frame of the radio and jostle things that's inside.
The example I gave when this
Good
came
point.
up this weekend was, what does the F1 Formula car do? It crumbles all around the driver.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Protect
It's a-
what's inside.
It's a crumple zone. That's exactly right. And that's my logic on it. And the stuff I use to print is PCTG, which is extremely heat resistant, UV resistant, chemical resistant, very high melting temperature. It's not going to,
And expensive.
it's not that expensive.
There's $10 more a roll in it. than
Yeah,
like
but for
Pepsi.
ham radio field operation, come on. What do you
That-
need at the end of the day? Come on.
Honestly,
This is not NASA. This is not Starlink and all this other.
Hey,
We're not going
NASA's
to Mars
3D
with it.
printing stuff. Using
I mean,
PCTG.
honestly, PLA is
Right.
probably fine. It will get soft if it's exposed to direct sunlight for a long time. But,
Mhm.
you know, my opinion, somebody who does a lot of POTA, I don't know, maybe that guy sitting right there, I believe he would be melted before the PLA would get melted.
I know of a certain antenna kit that
Yep.
has melted, but
Well, yeah, if you leave it sitting in a car,
Yeah.
or in
Well-
direct sunlight for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
yes, the
Coup-
PLA will get saggy.
couple
You can
hours
tell by
on
looking at me.
POTA
I don't
with
go in direct sunlight.
you know,
like-
full.
Well, I was going to
My-
say,
I'm not going to put my radios in it.
there we go. Ham, a model ham for my kid. He's not going to be sitting with that radio in direct sunlight. Besides that, which the radio will get hot.
And when I put it in the car, it's going to get, like it's going to go into a case or it's going to go into a bag. Or I like using the Domkey wraps, those camera lens wraps. Like you're
Yeah.
going to wrap it up and whatever, and it's going to be insulated. Even my 705 stays in a camera bag in the car, and we have a couple reptiles in the house, so we have like one of the infrared laser heat gun temperature
Mhm.
things, and so when it would get real cold, and I was testing out keeping it in the car, I bring it in every so often when the temperatures would be in single digits and take it out of the case and take a temperature reading and see
Mhm.
how cold the radio and the battery, and it was fine. I mean, it was cold, but it was it's fine. But that's what portable ops people are going to do. They're going to after they're done, they're going to wrap it back up, they're going to put it in a case, put it in
Right.
a bag.
But okay, it was cold, but was it below its operating temperature?
Right, the
I never
manufacturer
took a reading when it
specifications.
was. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I was interested to do that, because the ICOMs, the 705, and then the their digital radios, the 52, 51, 50s, those will drop the maximum output down if the temperature gets below a certain threshold. I forget what it is. I had it up in the
Really?
manuals.
Okay.
Yeah, they do that, and the Yaesus don't. And that's been my only hang up, even though as much as I am in the ICOM universe, that's been my only hang up about getting one of like the nice D-Star HTs from ICOM is I don't want to be out in the winter and have that HT, and then all of a sudden it drops to 1 watt output
because of the cold. I did not know.
And I got to keep that in. I'm going to keep things away from the elements if I'm doing. And I do sodas in January during like the VHF contests and stuff. So I'll have a radio HTs with me, but I don't want to have to worry about keeping it like under my armpit or something like that and warm the thing up before I make a contact or whatever. But yeah, the ICOMs have that. It's in the manuals. It talks about it. The Yaesus that I haven't seen it.
I could see cutting the power for getting too hot, but too cold. That's
too cold, and it has. They say it's because of the battery chemistry and the charging and stuff like that, but I don't know. Because I don't see that from anyone else. That'd actually be an interesting thing to see if you looked in. I should look in the new Yaesu manual, and see if they talk about that. But yeah.
I mean, it's the same battery chemistry as far as I knew. They're all lithium ion these days, right?
Yeah,
now
exactly.
Now, that's why LiPos, but you can't. But that's still like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 0.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That's why you need that Baofeng 25 was it UR or UV, whatever it is, that big boy, the brick. Yeah. I bought one.
200
I
watt,
bought one.
80 mile range 2 meter, right?
Well, you get a hand mic, right? A shoulder mic like we had in the fire department.
Yeah.
Hook it up here and stick the radio in your armpit.
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's how you do it.
There you go, Mike. Problem solved. You're welcome.
So what if you're walking funny? Who cares?
Right? Or you could put it there. That would be awkward, but
I mean, no one's going to see.
It'd stay warm.
He's still 5'9".
That's right.
Eric can see a soda video where Mike pulls an ID50 out of his pants and says, "If you're cold,
excuse me as I whip this out."
Exactly right. Exactly.
That's
awesome.
the video. That's the short right there.
Yep. Flip it.
I got to agree with KO4 HRT. If you live in an area where you have to worry about your battery cutting off due to the cold temperatures, you've made some bad life decisions.
Amen, brother. Rockstar Dave. Rockstar Dave is cool if y'all haven't met him. He's awesome.
There was a guy on POTA last week. I was trying to work him. He was in Utah, and he had to go QRT. He said, starting to snow. And here it is May. I'm like, oh, my God, dude. I think it was Bear Lake maybe in Utah, but still. There you go. It happens.
You were talking about you had the heat on. We've had the air conditioner on for probably 6 weeks or more.
Oh, yeah.
Since March.
Not yet.
Since January.
It's Alabama. Wait a minute, and the weather will change.
This is true.
Yep.
I mean, we had 2.5 snow days in January, I think.
Snow days? What the hell's that?
Yeah. We were closed for 2.5 days because of the snow. Of course, Izzo, what they closed for down here, we never would have closed for up in Chicago or Connecticut. Be like, get your ass to school. I don't care if you got to walk. You'd be all right.
Yeah, but some of those Jim, the boys, my crazy friends up there in the New Hampshire area laugh at us when we shut down for a day, for whatever. Again, it's all relative, isn't it? Well, it all depends how north or how south you are.
Right.
I was gonna say, Izzo, that snow that we had when I was up there at your place,
that was crazy, man.
That would have shut down Charleston for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh yeah, we ain't got no salt trucks down here.
No.
You got the trucks and the plows and everything. Like
Steve,
and then you got to know where to put it.
You guys don't got any of that stuff in Charleston either,
No,
do you?
God, no.
Yeah, there ain't no such thing as a salt truck or snow plow in Montgomery County, Alabama. Huntsville, maybe.
They don't have like one or two sitting.
There may have been one in Huntsville.
Sitting in the back somewhere.
Yeah.
In the back of the warehouse or the back of the office, and
Mike probably sees 15 or 20 of them on his way to work in the morning up there.
Right.
Joe, speaking of Huntsville, are those cameras back up?
I don't know.
Yeah, my nephew's up there. We're keeping an eye out. He's on the road. His wife is at home. I haven't gotten an update from him.
They're still showing daytime.
Oh,
never mind. I need to refresh. But Monte Sano's still grayed out. Could be foggy.
Hopefully it's foggy.
As long as it doesn't get my cabin.
Let me text our friend.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
Guys,
Tell him we said hi.
what is the contingency plan? God forbid something happens at Montesano with the cabins for you guys for August.
I ain't worried about the cabins. I got a campsite. As long as I still got a pad to put the camper on, I'll be happy.
I mean, if they just bring in chainsaws and just open up the area, that'd be a lot easier for you guys.
Well,
right?
using pace, I mean, cabin 14 is the primary. The alternate might be, staying at my nephew's house because he's got a spare bedroom. And,
Okay.
the contingency plan is a hotel, and the emergency on the pay scale is bunking with Steve up there. Hey, Steve, can I stay with you? Thanks.
So I will tell you,
Big spoon. I call.
there is one extra bed in the camper.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
But
Wow.
Theo would be very
I
jealous.
thought Shaq
I
Greg.
can't.
I thought that was reserved for Shaq and Greg.
no.
No.
wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Whoa.
So
I just heard. Wait a minute. I just heard this. T.O. would be very jealous. Does that mean T.O.'s contingency plan is to bunk with you in your one bed cabin, Jim?
No, I think T.O. is truck camping or something. He's not bringing the Death Star.
okay.
Yeah.
And Mrs. T.O. is not coming. So wherever listen, T.O.
I just
will
thought
camp
maybe
it.
you were sharing your bed. I knew you
No,
rent
no,
that
no.
one bedroom cabin.
I have a 1-bedroom and 1-bed cabin. I have a couch. And I'm not taking the couch, and T.O.'s a little long for the couch, so he can throw a sleeping blanket on the floor, sleeping bag on the floor.
If he has to.
Listen, T.O. car camped at Orlando last
2 years
year.
ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
T.O. would park in the Walmart parking lot, lean the seat back, and call it a night.
Right.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
and
we've
Leia
all done that, but you
car
wake up
camp
crooked, man.
in
You
Going
wake
to
up
gas-
crooked.
Go in a gas station bathroom, pull off some paper towels, get them wet.
Yeah. A
Good to
quickie.
go.
Yeah, that's a quickie. Yeah, we've all done that, but that's not. You don't feel good.
Jim, I don't know that you could handle my campmates.
I probably can't.
Yeah,
too
Carlos is one of them. So
I mean, you got to have a token, yeah.
hey, as long as he brings the lockpick set,
I mean, you got to
it's
have
okay.
a short guy. It's a law. Okay. No, you guys are a little more
Outgoing.
energetic than I
Jim
am.
likes to go to bed,
Effervescent.
as the sun goes to bed.
Yeah.
No, not quite. Not quite. No,
He was the first one to go to bed all weekend.
Speaking of Carlos,
Mm-hmm.
if everything works out, I will be jumping with Carlos at Huntsville this year.
Oh,
Really?
shit. I will be there to video it.
JoeBrett. Breaking news, JoeBrett.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
I've mentioned this on Car, and I've already
Okay.
told Carlos.
Yeah, y'all don't watch that?
Yeah,
I've heard this many
wait.
times.
I was
He's
gonna
on
say
the show?
Joe's heard this
this
more
is
than once.
Clubhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've still got to lose some more weight, but I plan on. I guess I'm good. Let's see, is he in front or back in a tandem?
He's behind you.
thing?
He's
So
behind
it'll
you.
be just like a little backpack with a little Cupid doll
Yeah.
on the back for me. It'd be no
May have
big deal.
to, you may have
Just
to
make sure
borrow
you
my
get your legs up.
360 camera.
I'd do it.
Oh yeah,
I'd do it. That would be cool.
Of course, that's with the approval of your
It would
Carlos
be strapped
there.
to Carlos, but
Yeah. I plan to take an HT and do some parachute 2 meter, something
there
like
you
that.
go.
I'll have to get with Carlos, see what he needs.
I know
need to
he's
buy 'em
got
out.
he's got a couple of jumps scheduled. Year one, we can't talk about one of them that's jumping with him
Why not?
because she said nobody's allowed to know.
Oh, she.
Yep.
Oh, come on. That's easy.
Aw.
That's easy.
You think?
James, it depends on the aircraft. I could have jumped with him at Dayton, and 250 was his weight limit. I'm 5 over. I know 240 was his weight limit, and I'm about 10, 12 over that, over 240.
The Pack 750, you're good. Because
No,
I was
I'm not a screamer.
I was over that when I
For the
jumped in
podcast.
Huntsville.
Mike, you're right. When you're on the bottom of Carlos, you're screaming. I don't care who you are. You're absolutely right. You're screaming.
Gosh. For the podcast, Mike
Hell no.
Yo.
Hell no.
Wow. I really look forward to that video. $5 says Jim's the screamer.
Jumping out of an airplane's like,
Mm-hmm.
it won't hurt as bad for as long.
Yeah.
if things go sideways. So James Cook, I need to lose probably 10 or 15 more pounds by August, which is
You got it.
borderline if that's going to happen, but I need to anyway. So,
Okay.
and Ham Radio Kansas wants me to turn in my pilot certificate because I'm jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. I don't know, Jeff. You ever seen some of them planes that carry jumpers in? It's probably good to have a backup pilot. Those are not exactly top of the line aircraft.
The PAC 750 is a nice plane.
I don't know. I've never.
And it's built for skydiving.
I had a buddy who flew jumpers a lot here in the Montgomery area, and he was in a Twin Otter that was probably new during the Nixon administration,
Yeah.
I think.
Twin Otter's another great plane to jump from.
Yeah, they're just old.
Oh, yeah, they are. But
So that's about 50 years old then.
or older.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
born in 64. I was born in 64. So if you do the math, which we
Yeah.
don't like doing math, but
Math hurts.
It does.
Yeah, when I started flying, I was flying a 72, 73 Cherokee PA-28 is what I learned on.
Yep. I think mine was a 68. So.
And it smelled like your grandpa's car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And avgas and JP4 out on the ramp. I love the smell of an airplane ramp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, they're making new Twin Otters. Wow.
Right, Eric? You don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You only need it if you want to do it twice. Well, it's like flying. Takeoffs are optional. Landings are mandatory.
Yep.
So
flying's the second greatest thrill known to man. Landing's the first.
it is. I love doing touch and goes, man.
And
awesome.
hey, if the airplane's reusable, it was a successful landing.
Nothing was bent. The dirty side is still down. It's a good day.
If you're having trouble with the chute, you got the rest of your life to figure it out.
That's right.
Well, I will tell you,
Mike. That's right.
Carlos's spiel is he has plans for the evening, and it does not include the hospital or the morgue.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Or cleaning
As long
shit
as you're
off
going
of
with
his off his skydiving gear. So I'll.
yeah, well, that's optional. You can't do it in the air, though. Your
Would be
body will
awkward.
not allow it.
Good. It'll probably be pooping diamonds if anything comes out. So
Once you hit the ground, all bets are off.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I've wanted to go skydiving forever. I just never got around to it.
There you go.
Do not tell Julie. She does not know I'm going to do this.
Oh,
I suspect that there would be some negative reinforcement if I told her. So I'll just wait and show her the video after I've successfully completed the mission.
Julie is in your wife, or
Yes.
Julie? Okay. I didn't realize your wife's name was Julie. I was thinking Poda Power Julie.
No.
I was like, what, is she your insurance agent?
Mrs. Perry.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't tell my wife I was doing mine either. I told her when I got back on the ground.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention it. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I forgot to tell you. I thought I did.
I think all the women in my life would just say, just go. They'd probably just want to push me out with or without the chute. Just go here.
Well, I figured the insurance is paid up. She's got a pretty good policy if things
There you go.
have a non-positive outcome. We use that in the fire department. That's how we said things went sideways. A non-positive outcome.
Non-positive outcome. You're right.
Yeah, I mentioned to my wife, I'd be willing to do it. I like Jim. I still would have some weight to lose, but if I'd be more worried. My bigger challenge is getting down to Huntsville, but I want to make it happen. If not this year, one of the future years, and I think it'd be hella cool to do it with being able to play parachute mobile, make a couple contacts, and
That's my plan. I haven't decided what radio I'm going to take. I think I won't take my 5D. I'll probably take something cheaper, just in case there's a non-positive outcome, at least for the radio.
Well, so Carlos takes his 3D, and he sets the record feature.
Oh, I
before
didn't
you
think
take
about
off.
that. So that's
Yes.
where he's getting all the QSOs out of
So
the radio.
nice.
Yep.
I'll take the 5D then.
There you go. And it's tethered to you,
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry about it.
If Kenwood is watching, I would totally do a 220 jump If they want to give me a D75,
Because Kenwood watches every week. Yeah.
I will tell you.
Yep.
I'll do D-Star Kenwood.
Yes.
The ID-50 is drop tested from 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
At Huntsville, no less.
Really?
Yep.
That's
Carlos
awesome.
dropped one, or somebody else?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you found
Carlos
one.
dropped one.
I
dropped his whole
vaguely
bag.
remember part of a story, but I didn't.
I've
He
got a
dropped the
video of
entire
the
bag.
story.
Yep.
Okay.
The YouTube
Went over to-
forum video.
Yeah. Yeah. He went over to the neighbor, knocked on the door, says, "Do you mind if I get I think it's in your backyard?" And the lady
Yep.
let him in.
Yep. They're like, get your stuff and go. We
Well,
don't
they
need
didn't-
insurance info.
They didn't want any short people in their neighborhood because then the next thing hubcaps started disappearing.
Well, short people with long hair. They
and
were a little
Carlos
worried.
has a bolt cutter collection in the wall of his garage. I've
Right.
seen it.
Yes.
I've asked him about it. He said it's because I'm short.
He said it was his lockpick set.
Yeah. Did he try? Did the radio free fall, or was it in a bag?
It was the whole bag.
The whole bag. Okay.
As he came out of the airplane, it
doubt that it was
unhooked.
alive. Yeah. Okay.
But the only thing really damaged in that was his phone.
That's
But
amazing.
that's how he found it, was the Find My iPhone app.
Okay. I was going to say, how do you even figure out which yard it landed in?
Yep.
So, note to self: put an air tag on anything important.
Yeah. Well,
Jim, you know what you need
now
to do?
he tethers
You need to
that
put
bag
your
to him.
3D rails on an 891 and drop it. And if that thing lands,
Yeah.
Look here,
And it
as good
crumbles
as them
correctly,
expensive
then-
metal ones.
Right.
then you'll be selling your rails no problem.
Right.
He
You don't have
survived 14,000 feet.
you don't have to run discount codes. Grandma, just
Yep.
sell them.
That's right. That's right. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
That'll be awesome. So. But yeah,
Well,
I
guys,
think-
we're
think
getting
he
to
did
the
quite
end.
a
I'm
few.
getting to the end of this cigar here. I think
yeah,
you know what
we're
that
at
means.
2 hours. So.
Well, I'll just say I did hear back from our friend at Monte Santo, and I've got no details, but he said he's doing some lumberjacking and teaching the fire department how to lumberjack. So
Okay.
evidently they got some trees down, but he responded, so that's positive.
He
Good.
responded,
Good
which
sign.
means he has cell signal and he's okay.
That's a
Yeah.
good sign.
Bless his heart that he has cell signal on that mountain of doom.
Well, he owns the cell repeater because he lives there.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true, but I'm assuming.
I'm kind of thinking not, but
Yeah.
you know, the whole internet thing is always annoying to me because they ran cable up that mountain, right?
Mhm.
All the cabins have cable.
Right.
If you have cable, that means you have wired network circuit up to the mountain.
Mhm.
Throw up 4 or 5 outdoor Wi-Fi repeaters, for crying out loud. It ain't hard.
Yeah.
And not that expensive.
No.
Like, what?
And being a state park, they could probably get state funding for it. They
Well,
charge enough for the campsite.
My wife used to be the IT director of conservation, who owns the state parks.
Okay.
And they and she's been retired since 2016, which I hate because I'm jealous. But
Mhm.
And she's always home.
yeah,
Coming up with honeydews.
yeah.
There it
And
is.
Mike's right. They weren't using
that's
Nessie
right.
bologna.
It's probably that
You know,
cheap stuff.
what they're using is very leaky.
Amazon,
That truck stopped
ra-
coax.
A radio
Can't
shack.
trust that 75 ohm shit.
some Radio Shack surplus that's 75 ohm. Mike got that.
That's
from-
right. It
yeah,
was sitting
exactly.
it was sitting in a warehouse and government
Well,
contract.
they probably bought it from one of them guys at Hamfest, the one that's right next to the tubes.
outside.
Yeah. Hey, you want some 75 ohm coax? It's good
Never
enough.
been used.
got a
Never been
spool of it.
used. Yeah,
But
got
they got internet in the main office.
Yep.
They got and TV, and they have TV in all the cabins. So you either put in real cable modems in them damn cabins. Wi-Fi cable modems about $80. And whatever. That's the only annoying thing about Huntsville. And it's a technology town. You would think, and I know when Julie was at Conservation still, they were deploying wireless because I did some side hustle stuff for free because I'm married to the IT director. And she said, come help me with
Okay.
this.
Can you help me? Yeah.
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 No,
Spend a
not
day
can
with
you help me? It was come help me with this.
Yes, and she knows where all the boomsticks
That's
are.
so
and-
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Husband and wife stuff. That's nice.
yeah,
Well,
That-
no, Jim wanted to eat, and
I wanted to eat.
she
and
wasn't going to cook for him if
And
he
I-
didn't come help.
I also didn't want an ice pick in my ear
That's right.
Good night.
You got to
So,
sleep at some
You
point.
know how it goes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mhm.
All right. Izzo, what you got coming up?
Memorial Day weekend, guys. Time for
Yes.
us to be very grateful and say some prayers and some thank yous.
Yep.
Going to be doing some POTA, and I'm going to pull. The game plan is to pull the 6-meter beam I got up here in the attic, in the rafters rather, pull it down and set it up for Sunday. Set
Okay.
up on 52525 on one of my radios and see what happens. As long as I don't forget, but I should be good. But no, I'm working on a kilo, but I think I'm just gonna go play some POTA and just have some fun. We got some crazy weather coming in tomorrow and Thursday, but that should be done by Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So weekend looks pretty good for us.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
that's what I got going on.
Joe?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to look through some other videos. I didn't take a whole lot more.
You put out a bunch of videos already, so.
I mean, that's the most videos I've seen out of JoeBrett. And
Well, see,
That's
that's what
Huntsville.
he does. That's
A
what he
minute.
does. He does a
Well,
lot, and then he doesn't do something for
they-
it.
they were cool.
There were no sense of staggering the 360 videos.
Yeah.
Put them all out there. They was all.
I watched them 2 or 3 times. I just scroll around looking at all the random
That
stuff.
was cool.
Yeah, it's
There you
just
go.
kind of interesting. I like going back and watching them, seeing all the weird looks I get from behind me. They think I wasn't looking.
You need to put a flag up the next time too, or something.
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
So,
Jim,
I
how
may-
about you?
Hello.
Oh, sorry,
What?
Joe. I thought you were done.
Jeez,
Usually
whatever.
you're short.
Yeah,
so.
See, we play cards for our cousins' kids too, or something over here sometimes.
Mhm.
You know
You're
how
not
many
supposed to marry
times
your
I heard
cousins.
that phrase? You think they say it a lot on their show?
It's like playing
It's
cards
in
with
the
my brother's
middle of-
kids.
In the middle of every damn conversation they had this weekend, Jim would look at me and playing cards with my cousin's kids. Anyway, I was just gonna say I may go back through some of that 360 and make some non-360 videos out of them, but I ain't even looked at what I may have recorded. I don't even know if I got the Osmo out much, but
Okay.
other than
If you can
that,
find that guy's call sign, I need it.
yeah, I would need to try to get that. So may have to put that up on a TikTok.
There you go.
Them folks can find people.
Who is this old guy?
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't got nothing else. I may make a video on what I did get from Hamvention. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't make a video. Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning.
I ain't had time to do that really. I come back to work yesterday, get back home Sunday, and then Monday morning go straight do a 6-hour round trip, dude. I've been doing some driving.
I took off
Yeah.
yesterday. I said nope.
Yeah, I woke up and I started to. I felt like crap. But
All right. How about you, Jim?
how about you, Jim?
We got ham church on Sunday, and Izzo mentioned it. We're gonna do some 6-meter live on my show on Sunday morning at 9. We'll probably rant about something as
Yeah.
well, and the usual. I'm not sure what Coffee and Ham Radios has got on Thursday night because the
Not
schedule.
your show, huh?
No, my show is on Sunday morning. Coffee and Ham Radios is on Thursday night, and I'm not sure who's coming on Thursday night or Saturday.
Well, that's
Is
what
that-
I was saying. It wasn't
hadn't
your
looked at the
time to
schedule.
plan the show.
No, mine was Saturday. Done. Check.
Got it.
Check done.
I got it.
I can ignore it till the day before the next Coffee and Ham Radio show, and then reach up deep and pull something out. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
No, that's about it. I need to do a video. It's been like 2 weeks. I didn't do one the weekend before, and I ain't done this weekend. So
Okay.
If
People-
y'all ain't been checking out Ham Church now,
people confuse me with JoeBrett if I don't start putting out videos. I'm just
for
saying.
real.
Yeah,
Might
we have a
confuse
good
you with me.
time. We've had a pretty good show. I think we've been running about 125, 150 concurrent viewers
Okay.
on Sunday
Pretty
morning.
good, Jim.
Yeah,
There you go.
I was amazed.
I mean, you just started that a few months back.
2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Look at you little following.
And that's
Coming
on
to-
your channel?
Yeah, on my channel. That's on
Okay.
FEP Labs. Yeah.
FEP Labs Radio.
Good deal.
Yep.
All right. Mike, other than 6 meters on Sunday?
Yeah. And now that I know that Jim and them might be on 6 meters on Sunday, it's looking like I got to go out early on Sunday, in the morning or early afternoon because of my son's birthday party. So maybe I'll catch you guys. That'd be real cool.
Mike, it's very simple. You do the cake, and then you pass the mic. Then you pass the mic to all the kids at the party. That's how you do it, man. You get the kids involved, and you keep it going. And,
I'll go out and activate in the morning on 6, but I'll come back and I'll set up at the house and stuff. But I'm going to use for the first time. I have the 6 meter Faraday, which the big.
The big,
boy.
The big boa constrictor.
So that'll be fun to try.
Python. The Python.
I just come up with a new idea, Mike. And I tried it right now live, and it worked.
What?
Yeah.
What you got?
What's that?
6 meter FT-8 on AM digital. Or AM data, not digital.
Okay.
It got a little wide. I don't know if that's within policy or not. It got a little wide.
Just tell them you were confused and you thought we were.
I probably just pissed off a lot of 6 meter people with FT-8, but
as long as the antenna didn't burn up or that toroid melt, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
So 6 meter is a huge band, isn't that like 4 megahertz of bandwidth on 6 meter?
oh, it's a lot.
50 to 54, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Contact's a contact.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would work on AM, man.
It might.
We might need to go somewhere besides the FT-8 frequency.
The FT-8 spark gap. There you go. Quirky QRP's got
anywhere in the data area should be fine. I mean, it's like there's 4 megahertz of bandwidth. Tune your knob over, Chief. Quit your bitching.
That's going to mean there's probably like about a dozen times more bandwidth on 6 than 20.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, and I've been drinking the brown liquor and stuff, but like,
20 is like for the general band is 14,225 to 14,350. So that's
the whole band at 14 to 14,350. So it's you're 0.35, and then you got 4
megahertz.
4 megahertz there. So that's got to be like it 10 would be 3.5. That's already enough math. Yeah.
Mike, you're making me tired listening to all the math.
And then there's Jody with a curveball right here. Oh,
525.25 UTC.
Oh man, that's a lot of conversions going on.
Okay, 525 UTC is like 11:30 on the 24th.
So that's going to be like 1:25 in the morning here.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll be up.
0:25 in the morning here. Whatever. No, 11:25. No, that's 0:25.
No, 6 hours. It's so 5
5
hours.
hours now. 5 hours. I'm Central Time. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I told you the math was wearing me out.
Yeah.
42.
Don't do math.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, anything else?
Steve.
No, nothing else. Oh, you know what? Let me. I'm gonna play with these. I have a buddy of mine.
Let's see your hands while you say that.
Saying that word. Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to play with these.
I've been trying to get around to it. My problem is like I on some of the higher frequencies, I got to get better at testing like the power outputs. And if you look at these displays, you'll see this is on 6 meters and 33 centimeters.
Okay.
So these Radtels, I mean, they're probably dirty as.
I wasn't gonna say it,
but now that I do have a tiny SA, I want to play around with it, and a buddy picked up a bunch of them on Amazon and stuff. I mean, the fact that you can get an HT that's going to do 17 meters up to 33 centimeters, something's going to be wrong.
I've got an Abri, which is the same company, I think.
Yeah,
because there was I think I got the AR891, and there's an equivalent Radtel. It's the same radio. It's like Anytone and B-Tech kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that thing was dirtier than that cheerleader you wanted to be with in high school.
Yeah.
It would transmit on 4 frequencies at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Okay.
I have learned. I want to.
maybe
See,
better
I've
on.
learned I want to say something, but I'm going to bite my tongue. I have matured. I'm going to bite my tongue, and you guys could just figure it out yourself.
This is Clubhouse. You should just say it.
No.
No, because we use it against him. That's why he doesn't want to say anything.
Well, I mean, it is recorded. Everybody knows what,
Right.
Like,
He gets a little complex about himself now.
Doesn't matter what I try.
It's okay if you dated a slutty cheerleader in high school, man. It's all right.
I didn't, though. That's just it.
Sorry.
He wishes he did.
He sounds so remorseful.
I was going to say, I sound sad about it. Yeah.
I don't want somebody from my past is watching this show or listening to a podcast, and then they're going to make some phone calls, and they're going to go through the yearbook.
Dry. I don't care. To me, it's all about that flavor. You know what I mean?
It can't be any worse than sushi on a conveyor belt. Just like
Exactly. Thank you.
Keep it coming. Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Well, as we already talked about, it is Memorial Day weekend.
Remember
Coming up.
those who did not come home.
Remember those that never left the uniform, please.
Yep.
I am headed to D.C. on Thursday. I'll be up there I'll come home Monday. Be up there for Rolling to Remember, so I'll be on the bike. But I am taking the F-150 with the 857 in it. I'm going to try to sneak out and get a Maryland POTA knocked out. And if anybody's on later on in the afternoon on Sunday, I'll fire up 6 meters, through the ATOS and see if I can't make a contact. But 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be sitting in the Pentagon parking lot. So, man,
Drop some info in Discord so we can find you, because I've got the girl child who is 14 now and 5'7", and starts high school next year. I'm trying to process that, and so she's coming over this weekend. So I'm not sure what we'll be doing exactly.
Yep. Okay. But yeah,
I'll keep an eye out.
Yep. We'll have the Blue Star mothers who have a child actively serving, the Gold Star moms that have lost a child, Gold Star wives that have lost a spouse, and then the TAPS folks, which are the Tragedy Assistance for Survivors program. That those 4 are near and dear to my heart. So I go up, make sure that they have a ride for Rolling to Remember, and just it's a very emotional weekend for everybody involved. I will do 360 video and see if I can't get some other video while I'm there.
Yeah, I support Folds of Honor.
Yep.
Which is a veteran and first responder.
Yes.
So the fold refers to the folded flag that you get if it's a line of duty from.
My escort from a few years ago, her husband passed away in Afghanistan, and his name was actually on one of the NASCARs for the Folds of Honor 500. So, and she got to go to that race.
Good.
I keep up with her, so I try to keep up with most of mine.
I
I've been
shared
doing
out the
this
website
12 years
if you
now.
guys want to pop it up.
Oh, yep. Here we go.
I can't do that here. I don't have the magic button.
Hey.
Yep.
So they provide
scholarships and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a great organization.
And I'll tell a quick story on myself about Japan. I almost made a big faux pas, since we're talking Memorial Day and veteran stuff. I like the Till Valhalla shirts, and I accidentally packed my Pearl Harbor Remembrance Till Valhalla shirt and almost wore that around in Japan.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Pulled it out of the drawer, and I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't wear that one.
they've had 80 years to get over it. They'll be all right.
They just allowed us to put a new carrier on the pier.
Well, they'll still get over it. They need to get over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sushi coming down the belt, maybe not would have been to your liking.
Right.
I get my sushi from the grocery store usually, so.
Oof.
Publix, man. Publix makes decent sushi.
I keep, there's a Kroger right down the road from the office, and people keep saying they got some good sushi. They make.
I've never
Wegmans out here has good sushi.
Yeah, I mean, we get it, and they do like $5 sushi on Wednesday. So typically on Wednesday, it's sushi day at my office.
Okay. Yep. So, Jeff, that video was Folds of Honor, their website.
And I
So.
pasted it in the chat.
Yep,
and I'll
it's
do
in the
it
chat.
again.
I see it. So, all right, gentlemen. Anything else?
Thank y'all for being here and coming on.
Thank you, everybody.
In the
And
chat.
especially thank you to those in green, the channel
Thank you,
supporters.
Green. Big
Guys,
thanks
keep us
to
going.
Mike. Big thanks to Mike, aka MRD, who popped in, and
Yep.
you know, Jim and Michael, Mike down here. So thanks to everybody for popping in tonight.
So, you guys, 73. Wave the camera. And we'll play that outro.
Bye.
Bye.
Bah.
The other point is, for most hams, we don't care about some of the other stuff. You can't operate a Yaesu radio because all you do is bitch about the menus every time.
I'm
It's
thinking about
true,
that.
it's true.
I'm thinking about that cheerleader right now.